Madison, and indeed it is a summer day game here at Camden Yards as the Rays and the Orioles are going to wrap up this three-game set with the Orioles trying to get out of a three-game losing streak. Tampa Bay has swept the Orioles here in this ballpark 5 times. They're going to try and do it again for the 6th. That's more sweeps in a visiting ballpark than any other ballpark for Tampa Bay. The Orioles want to put an end to that. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. For these two ball clubs, the offensive numbers during this season series have not exactly been there. In fact, they're kind of mystifying. Take a look at the head-to-head so far on the season. Tampa Bay's got the lead in the series, 5-3, but look at those batting averages. Ouch. Yet 42 runs and only 25 for the Orioles. The home runs, Orioles have the advantage there. Average with runners in scoring position, the Rays a much bigger number. And, of course, that starting ERA, a tremendous difference. Tampa Bay, 10-1 win last night, the largest over the O's since '08. So, I says in this day game, Jim, how can it be they have those bad averages and yet they're scoring that many runs? And Jim said,
well, they hit the big fly with men on base. And we saw, Jose Lobaton had never hit a major league home run, 177 at bats, 122 times. Luke Scott said, I don't care how hot it is. I have ice cream waiting at the end of the dugout. If you hit a home run, I'll give you ice cream. And it's a 3-run home run, and they're off to the races. But they're really, what Tampa can do, Gary, is that they can beat you 10-1 or they can beat you 3-1 because of what we saw there, their starting pitching. They have the second best starting pitching this year in the American League, and year in and year out, it's one of their constants.
And today, James Shields is going to be on the mound as the Orioles try and right the ship, not only overall, but also here at home. This has been a very tough time at home for the Orioles. You've got to get some wins. With a loss last night, the Orioles have dropped a game below 500 on their own field.
Well, yeah, you're right. And, there are the numbers as you look. And, again, the one constant for the Orioles lately is they're just not hitting well with runners in scoring position. So you not only have to get them on, you have to get them in. The ERA for the starter, last night Miguel Gonzalez didn't have anything. Tillman has pitched very well, did not get a lot of good defense behind him in his second start. This will be start number 4. So he gives him a chance to win. And then for James Shields, he pitches well, here at Camden Yard. He's 6-1, but he's not having the year that he had last year. Had 11 complete games. This year has yet to complete one. So he's not David Price, and he's not even Jeremy Hellickson. So for the Orioles, you have to look at that as a positive. But at the end of the day, Buck Showalter said it. You and I know it. They have to get it done, and let's see if they can do that today.
The Orioles have made a change in light of the bullpen use last night. Dana Evelyn once again running a railroad now between the minors and Camden Yards. He is back up here again. Steve Tollison has been sent out. The Orioles continue to have to do this in order to be sure they don't get caught short.
Well, they do. And, so Dana comes back, and he'll be your long man because he's a starter, and he has had some starts in the big leagues. But I look at today, and I'm saying, you know what? The Orioles match up, even though they have a short bench, they match up better against right-handed pitching. You told me he's going to be back in the lineup. Even though Chris Davis has been struggling, he's back in the lineup. Flaherty gets to play. So you get a lot of left-handed power. They don't match up against left-handed pitching right now because of the injuries. And David Price is as good as anybody in baseball. So it was they were the underdogs last night, and they ended up losing by 9.
What the month of July has brought for the Orioles, not only the 3-game losing streak, playing under 500 in the month, but the strikeouts they so feared, even in spring training. All of a sudden here in July, they're piling up more strikeouts than they are hits.
Yeah, and the one thing, again, if you look at matchups, James Shields, 50% of the balls he's going to throw today, if he's pitches the way he's been pitching, are going to be either changeups or curveballs. So he's not overpowering. He doesn't throw 96 to 99 like we saw David Price. He does have a good changeup, but again, you're just hoping that the Orioles can get a couple of guys on and do what they do best, Gary, not hit with runners in scoring position, hit some home runs. And I talked to J.J. Hardy. I said, do you realize that 44 of your last 50 home runs in the American League have been solos? He goes, I better hit some with runners on. So let's see if that happens today.
That's what the Rays have been doing. The only thing I can say I'm happy about is the fact that ice cream has made a difference in baseball, with Luke Scott providing chocolate last night in the dugout after the catcher hit that home run. He actually delivered it. He ate it between 2 innings. And I've always said in life, anytime that ice cream can make a difference, life is good.
Well, I'll tell you, I know that. But I'll tell you one thing. If I knew that really worked, I would have had a good humor man at the end of the dugout.
Well, you got one in the booth.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it. We'll be back. First pitch coming up, game 3 of this 3-game set as the Orioles try and get out of this losing streak. TBAatbal.com. And by Jeep. Jeep in the unique brand of freedom you'll find only in the full line of Jeep vehicles. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. A bit hazy on this summer day here at Camden Yards. A lot of clouds this morning. Sun now breaking through. Take a look at our train game time temperature. About 16 degrees cooler than what had been anticipated just a couple of days ago. Certainly the ball players will take that. Visit Train.com for an independent train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. Here's the starting lineup for the Rays, who have the same record now as the Orioles. Brought to you by Dodge. It'll be Jennings, Upton, Zobrist, Joyce, Roberts, Pena, followed with Molina and Johnson at the bottom. Elliott Johnson this season, a real strong year against the Orioles. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out their powerful lineup.
Take a look at our AFC Intelligence Report. Visit AFCIA.org, the Association for IT Pros. Well, you become the stopper when you've lost the first two games of a series, and that's what Chris Tillman will try to do. Orioles 17-13 in series this year, so they're not going to win one, but they certainly have a chance to stop the losing streak. Relax and compete. You don't want to try any harder. And then with the Rays, we've seen them hit home runs. They hit 3 last night, but they also run you out of the ballpark. 82 steals. Chris Tillman, for a big 6'6" right-hander, he controls the running game, and what he's done so well, and you talk about it all the time, Gary, 82% of leadoff batters he's been able to get off when you start an inning, and that's what you want to do against the Rays.
And for Chris Tillman, he will come in with an 0-2 mark, a lifetime against the Rays. Tillman in 5 career starts, an ERA of 5.06 against Tampa Bay. Here in his home ballpark for Chris, 4-6 lifetime, a 5.28 ERA. This will be his 18th start here at Camden Yards. And Tillman coming off that win against Cleveland, a run on 6 hits over 6 2/3 innings in that ball game, and the Orioles need him to be that good or better here in this game against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, just do what Wei and Chen did in the sense of just keep them in the ball game, something that Miguel Gonzalez couldn't do last night. And of course, Desmond Jennings led off first pitch home run, so maybe you want to throw it a little bit out of the middle of the plate.
His 3rd career leadoff homer and his 2nd of the year. And he went after the first pitch here, and it's a strike. Jennings has got a 5-game hit streak coming into this ball game. He is their leading base stealer on the year with 17. See the 5-game streak, not a big number. It's been one of those 1 hit per game streaks. He showed bunt. Pitch is going to be taken up high, though. 1 ball and 1 strike. Both teams now are 51-47. Both teams are 8 games behind the Yankees for Madden and Showalter. The battle goes on for a postseason berth in the wild card. And the pitch will be taken away for a ball. And the tightness of the division, as expected, continues to be there, because while the Yankees are running away with it, the Red Sox, they're 49-50, and Toronto's 48-49. That'll be fouled down the line and into the seats, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, so 92, we saw Chris Tillman come back to the big leagues a couple of weeks ago up in Seattle. Never seen him throw the ball like that. Matt Wieters, who's doing the catching today, said, well, that's the way he threw in Double-A. But somewhere in between, he lost command, lost velocity, wind up a lot better, much straighter to the plate.
And did he go? They check down at first base, and the answer from Paul Emmel is no.
Yeah, take a look, and this is 94. We saw him throw 97. And again, it's not whether you break your wrist, how far the bat travels, and Paul Emmel didn't think it traveled far enough.
So a 3-ball, 2-strike count on Desmond Jennings, and he'll take it, and not the way Tillman wanted to start it. Leading base stealer is on. Take a look at the Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit Kia.com.
Well, you can see much more improved velocity, change the mechanics, the curveball. And we saw him try to throw too, so you can see it's below 50%. The cutter, he doesn't throw that many of them, but the fastball 65. You'd like to have that number up as far as, and then the slider. He doesn't really throw too many of them, but all of them for strikes this year.
Here's B.J. Upton. He will bring Betemit in even with a bag at third base. Takes the pitch for a ball and wants to get rid of the glasses. Upton's had a 2 for 9 in this series. Number of the hitters in the lineup for the Rays have faced Tillman before. And Upton is one of those with a 2 for 9, including a home run. You get speed at the plate and speed at first.
Yeah, Jennings 17 out of 18, and he's 16 consecutive.
And you can do a lot here: hit and run, bunt, straight steal. I mean, everything's available when you get that leadoff man on like Jennings.
And also, again, if you throw that 78-mile-per-hour curveball as well as Wieters throws, it makes it a little bit more easier to steal a base.
Decent lead at first for Jennings. Now extends it a half step, and there he goes. Straight steal. Throw down from the knees. No chance.
Yep.
That's off Tillman. I mean, he had a big lead. That required a throw over. Didn't get it, and he's on second.
Well, the whole world knows, and Chris included, if you walk Jennings, this is what you get. Now he's 17 out of 18, and they're going to try to run you out of the ballpark if the wrong guys get on. You can see Matt Wieters from the knees, not an accurate throw. I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference, even though if it's on the second base side, it certainly would have made it a little bit closer.
Jennings with the 18th stolen base is now 7th in the league. Mike Trout with 31 leads the American League. And an RBI opportunity for Upton and a 3-0 count from Tillman.
And what Chris Tillman has to do is just forget about Desmond Jennings. I mean, not in the sense that you don't know he's out there. You got Kenta Ania right behind him, so he's not going to steal third. But you got to throw strikes, and just if you give up a run, but stay away from the big inning. If you learned anything last night, and Shields is not Price, but certainly a very capable pitcher, you want to stay away from multiple run innings if you can. And walks certainly aren't going to do that.
So consecutive walks to start the ball game. Tillman in his previous 3 starts had not walked more than 2. He walked 2 against Seattle, 2 against Minnesota, and 1 in his last start against Cleveland. And already he's walked 2. First 2 he's faced in the ball game. And now he's got to face Zobrist. He has not thrown a called strike yet. Got a swinging strike on Jennings at bat. They put the shift on in the infield against Zobrist. He will take the pitch up high for a ball. Fans already murmuring here with Tillman's start. For Zobrist, he is 3 for 13, and the hits have been home runs. All 3 of them.
And again, you get the second guy in walks in the American League. Only Adam Dunn with more. So he makes you throw the ball over, and then he's a good fastball hitter.
And the delivery to him is there for a strike, first called strike of the ball game.
And it's a changeup.
Zobrist 259 with runners in scoring position. The Rays kind of gotten out of the funk they were in that department as a team. They are 5 for 14 in this series with runners in scoring position, still 13th in the league overall. Runners off first and second base, and the 1-1 that will miss up high, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, it's so early in the game that Chris Tillman has been wild enough not to even know what Gary Darling's strike zone is. And there is his pitching coach Rick Adair looking on, saying throw one over, but not in the middle, because Zobrist's waiting for it. And there's a strike.
Got that one down low at the knees, and the count will go to 2-2 on Ben Zobrist. Walk to Jennings at second, walk to Upton. He's on at first. You've got great speed on the base paths now, and any ball put in play. Big hole at short with Hardy moved over behind the bag, and Tillman will back off to wipe the brow.
Yeah, Zobrist's so much a better hitter. The Tropicana Field down in St. Petersburg has become a pitcher's park. 220 at home. Loves to hit on the road, over 300. And he's worked himself into a pretty good count.
2 ball, 2 strike out. He's been hot since first week in June, hitting .317. So he's gotten some big hits for this ball club, and that's why he's batting third. Here's the 2-2 delivery, and the off speed is foul back off the end of the bat. 2-2.
Yeah, real good changeup, and again he fouls it off. So there you are, the biggest difference, home and away. Seager with the Mariners, and Quentin heard early. Adam LaRoche, of course, with the first place Nationals, and then again Michael Saunders, another M who doesn't like to hit up at Safeco Field.
Zobrist 2-2 delivery to him. Chop towards second base. Quintanilla. Hardy. And woof. Not a very good relay at second base, but still able to get the double play. Jennings moves over to third base.
Well, what he does, though, Gary, he comes and gets it because the ball's hit, so he gets a good read. It looks, you're right, it's a very soft toss, but he comes and gets it. I mean, a backhand throw just far enough to make it difficult to spin. So there is your defense. Davis, Jones, Markakis. That's the outfield. Betamit, Hardy, Quintanilla, and Mark Reynolds, and then the Gold Glover, Matt Wieters. Well, one of the Gold Glovers, because Jones and Markakis.
Big play. Quintanilla will go way back in right field again now against Joyce with that shift on. And that's going to be ripped, and it is a foul ball as he got it up. Well, Joyce with a 6-game hit streak.
So that's an information pitch. 92 down the middle doesn't work against this guy. You get Joyce, a little bit lucky sometimes.
That 279 mark's about as good as it gets for a ball club that offensively is putting up very low numbers, as they are 12th in average at 233, 10th in runs at 4.2 a ball game. And Tillman will get that one in for a strike, and it goes to 0-2.
Yeah, see, what we've seen from Chris Tillman in his first 3 starts, he struggled up in Minnesota. That was the second start. And then Reynolds didn't catch a grounder, and that led to the big inning of the 6 unearned runs, 7 total. But what we've seen is a better curveball, better velocity, and he's had a good changeup.
0-2 count, runner off third base, and trying to work his way out of it. Looked like Wieters got crossed up on that one a little as he finally got the body down in front of it. Boy, what an inning this could be for Tillman confidence-wise. You walk the first 2, you can't throw strikes. Third batter you get behind, and then you get that big ground ball double play, leaving Jennings over at third base but with 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Joyce 2 for 6 in the series. Tillman's delivery to him, the off-speed pitch fouled off.
Man, that's pretty good curveball again, and I think what we see is the good curveball, especially 12-6. If you look at it now, you know, the clock, and because Chris is right over the top, you don't mind throwing it when you have a catcher like Wieters, because he's going to block it, and did it a couple of curveballs ago.
1-2. Tillman's delivery to him, and he got him. Boy, what a comeback for Chris Tillman after walking the first 2. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a base runner left on. Orioles lineup when we come back. A couple of runs and 10 hits combined. Let's take a look at the lineup that will try and up that. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Markakis, Hardy, and Thome. Jones, Wieters, and Davis. Betamit, Reynolds, and Quintanilla. For Jim Thome against the Rays, a lot of at-bats. He had 32 home runs and over 100 RBIs.
And our Ask the Intelligence report on big game James. Well, let's see if he has a big game in him today. Sweeper. They like to sweep this series as they go and get ready to go to the West Coast. 50% curveballs and changeups. So 50% soft. 50-50 if you're an Oriole hitter. You can look hard or soft until you get to 2 strikes and get ahead. Major difference when he throws strike 1. It's 189 when he gets behind. Big time trouble hitting close to 400 at 379. Let's see how he handles that. You can see that. That is the most hits in the American League, 150. And again, he threw 26 home runs in 250 innings, or a little bit less already, 17 this year.
And first ball hitting. Markakis takes it to left field. Jennings is there, and he's got it. Markakis out of there on one pitch.
Now take a look at the Mobile defense. Even though they have 76 errors, the second most behind the Orioles. Jennings, Upton, and Sam Fuld in the lineup again. Ryan Roberts' home run comes over from the Diamondbacks at third. Johnson, Zobrist, Pena, and then the veteran Jose Molina, who's still a little bit tired. He stole a base, his 13th of his career the other day. Still winded.
For Shields, he has, against the Orioles, come away with a 9-5 lifetime mark here in this ballpark. This is his 12th career start at Camden Yards. He is 6-1 with that 3.63 ERA. So this has been a really good ballpark for Shields to pitch in, at least success-wise. Here is Hardy, couple of hits in 6 at-bats in the series, average at .221 on the year. He'll play him straight away. Little breeze blowing out towards left field. Start of our ball game today. 1-1 delivery to him, and that will miss down low, and a 2-ball 1-strike count on Hardy. Hardy has had a couple of hits in 6 at-bats against Shields in his career. Shields, with all those games against the Orioles, this being his 23rd career start. Number of Orioles with a number of at-bats against him. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, and Hardy takes it outside. 3-1.
Yeah, just again, and already, and it's early. It looks like Gary Darling is going to make you, whether you're Chris Tillman or James Shield, throw it over. So he appears to be in a hitter's umpire early here.
3-1 delivery on the way, and he walked him. Oh, Shields is going to give up a walk here with one away.
Yeah, first pitch out and then the walk. So there you go. Again, 27% fastballs. The rest changeups, curveballs, cutters. You can see good velocity. Fastball, that's about the major league average at just a little under 92. So he'll mix them up. And again, the cutter doesn't throw it for a lot of strikes. And you talk to a lot of good pitching coaches. That's one of the keys. You use them to get the hitters off your other stuff.
Here is Jim Thome. Thome back as the DH, has had only 3 at-bats in the series and gone 0 for 3 and does not catch up to that fastball. Thome, a 333 lifetime average against Shields, has had 1 home run off him. Thome will bat third, and Adam Jones will be batting in the cleanup spot in this ball game. 0-1 count. And that will be taken away for a ball. Rather than the big shift that we've seen on Thome by a lot of clubs, here's the shift leader in the dugout, Joe Madden, who doesn't put it on in this situation against Thome.
Yeah, and that could be not as much Jim Thome as his pitcher on the mound. You know, maybe throwing a lot of two-seam fastballs, which he has. They feel like he will not pull the ball, even though they're playing. I mean, Zobrist is playing him to pull.
Thome's 79th game against the Tampa Bay Rays in his career. Thought about it, stays away, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Shields not only has surrendered the most hits in the league, he's also given up the 9th most runs. However, he will strike you out, 7th most in strikeouts. He's comes into the ball game with 124. So he's got numbers all over the place, and you can steal against him. And the pitch is taken for a strike inside. Thome didn't think so, and the count goes to 2-2. Boy, the Orioles would like to break out. The offense just has not been there of late. In fact, the month of July and beyond has been very tough for the Orioles, trying to put runs up on the board. Lost some close games, and then the big blowout last night, a game that was over in the first inning. Thome on a swing and a miss on a pitch away, and there's Shields with his first K.
Well, you get the idea. He started him off with a cutter, and then 3 out of the next 4 pitches changeups. Watch this ball just fade away, just off the outside corner. He turns it over. Great camera work here. Watch that ball rotate. There's your movement, and then the change of speed, about 6 miles per hour slower than his fastball.
Our Nissan pitch track. Get to Nissan for the biggest savings under the sun. Nissan Summer Savings Days. Visit ChooseNissan.com or see your local Nissan dealer. We'll bring up Adam Jones, the Orioles offensive leader, as he's been all season. 4-game hit streak coming in. He's had a couple of hits and 7 at-bats in the series, and takes the pitch inside for a ball. Big number against Shields. He's hitting .353 with a home run. Lifetime off Shields. He and Markakis have put up real good numbers. Wieters has got a couple of home runs. Lifetime off the Tampa Bay starter. First base Hardy. There are 2 down now, though, and fouled away.
Well, take a look at Adam Jones as he matures as a major league hitter, signs a long-term deal. The Orioles are going to have him for the next 6 years. Look at him, the way he's been able to hit the fastball, slugging percentage going up, 2 home runs away from his career high of last year, 25 home runs.
Adam on the leaderboard, 9th in homers, 8th in runs, and 6th in hits. Mike Trout continues to lead in average. Dunn leads Hamilton by 2 in homers, and Cabrera's got the RBI lead by 1 over Josh Hamilton. 1-1 delivery, off speed again. That'll be fouled as he reached out. One of the things you see Jones gripping the bat after he took that swing. They're trying to respond to what Buck Showalter has been talking to them about, and that's patience and not getting themselves out. Stop chasing pitches that are out of the strike zone, getting behind, giving the pitcher a pitcher's count to work with. And Adam right there, I think, thought maybe that's one of those I might have waited on.
Yeah, he has been fighting wrist injuries the last month. So they're getting better, but we saw him about a month ago because he had to start the bat really chasing out of the zone. But he's always been. Last year, about 41% of the time he would swing out of the zone.
1-2 delivery to him is down low,
but he still had to
get him again.
I think only Vladimir Guerrero, who was a fellow teammate last year, swung at more pitches out of the zone. But again, he's able to do that. But when your wrist hurt and you feel like you have to get the bat going, it leads to, it's kind of like when you get a little bit older. You don't have the bat speed, so you cheat a little bit.
2 ball, 2 strike count, 2 down. Jones will take it, and the count's going to go full.
See, that's a great read on a changeup. I actually think that if he throws him another curveball, you might see a ball get out of here because he just missed it. One of those games where it's obviously big game for both of them, both of the teams. As you mentioned, Gary, they're both tied. Always talk about the grind out games. Night game followed by a 12:35. Somebody's got to win. It might as well be you.
3-2 delivery, and he walked him. So Shields, as Tillman did, has walked 2 in the first inning. The Orioles first and second, and 2 down. You take a look at Shields, back down to earth here as far as the numbers are concerned. See the top number for this season. Great number 2011, that whip mark. Walks, hits per innings pitched, that is up. Home runs per 9 innings, significantly up. And James Shields, who was a 16-game winner last year, 8-6 coming into this ball game with a 4.39 ERA.
And they've gotten him last year. They got him under 4 runs a game, and he was still able to win 16 games. 11 complete games led the majors. This year, none.
Wieters fouls it off. One of the many hitters the Orioles need to get going is Matt Wieters. Wieters has had only 1 hit in his last 27 at bats, and like so many of the Orioles, he too has been piling up the strikeouts. Obviously, when you do that, there's absolutely nothing offensively that happens if you're putting strikeouts on the board, and that is exactly what's been happening to the Orioles of late. Matt's hitting only .222 with runners in scoring position, and fooled him on the pitch inside, and an 0-2 count.
Well, he's opened his stance a little bit. I was talking to Jim Thome. I said, what did Charlie Manuel, who now manages the Phillies, it was Jim's first hitting show, he said, quiet feet, quick hands. And for Matt, he has the high leg kick, so when he gets out of sync, he is out of sync. Just trying to make adjustments.
Wieters takes it down low. Molina will block it. And the count goes to 1-2.
And it seems like the teams that have success with Matt, especially when he's hitting left-handed, which he is today, they don't double up a lot. He's just too smart, and he's able to time pitches. But when they go soft, hard, soft, hard, soft, hard, or soft, hard, soft, and whatever, that's when it's hard to get the foot down because you just can't time the pitching, which is what hitting's all about.
Wieters will take the pitch again down low, and Shields will take the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Orioles 1 for 7 in the first 2 games with runners in scoring position to continue to be last in the American League with an overall .232 batting average in these situations. So it's Shields against Wieters as the Orioles try and get a first inning lead. Hardy, Jones, the base runners, and a called strike, and that's going to do it. So Shields gets a couple of strikeouts, no runs, no hits, no errors. 2 are left on base, 1 complete in our day game, and no score. Presented by Luna. Call for the Luna Double and get your second room of flooring free. 877-241-LUNA. Baltimore Dave. And for the 2 pitchers, first innings they would like to forget, even though nobody scored. 4 total walks. 21 pitches thrown by Tillman. 22 thrown by Shields.
Well, there are 2 guys that had command issues, and then it's a small strike zone. And again, for friends of Gary Darling, that is not a reflection. It's just every umpire has a different strike zone. He's going to make you throw it over. It makes it harder to pitch. So you need to be aggressive early in the count if you can.
Crew chief gets the day game today.
He called the balk on Tuesday night, and I thought one of the great quotes of the year. 3 guys didn't call it, 1 umpire over-umpired. Buck Showalter.
I guess he didn't agree with the call.
He just didn't think it had anything to do with deceiving the runner, which it didn't.
Here is Ryan Roberts. Roberts, welcome to the club. Acquired from the Arizona Diamondbacks, appearing in the ball game. Hit a home run in his first at bat as a Ray yesterday. 2-run homer, 3rd inning. 31-year-old who had been designated for assignment. And the Tampa Bay Rays traded a minor league infielder to pick him up, and are mighty happy they did already.
Well, he attacks the ball. It's only 6 home runs this year, but 19 of them last year. And Chris Tillman, he's trying to establish his curveball, and you don't need to do it. It's a feel and touch. So, you know, he got out of the first inning with a good changeup to Joyce. And anytime you start to hit her off with a curveball, even the guys that aren't that bright look fastball the next pitch.
And he walked him on 4 straight pitches. So Tillman has walked 3 already. And the leadoff man is on again. Our Maryland Lottery Strike It Rich contestant of the game, Velma Conti from Annapolis. Velma, you've already won $500 for being selected. You get $100 more from the Maryland Lottery for every strikeout recorded by an Orioles pitcher. See how you can turn non-winning Strike It Rich scratch-offs into cash and enter to win great O's prizes. MDLottery.com/strikeItRich. Good luck, Velma. Here's Pena.
Yeah, Chris Tillman looked in after that pitch, but you have to, when you know an umpire has a tight zone and that's his zone, and you're going to have to live with it. How about trying to throw one by the glove? He didn't do it, and then he wants the borderline pitches. You're just not going to happen.
And here's one of the leading walk men in all of baseball as Pena stands in. Strikeout, home run, or walk. Carlos Pena. He's had 14 home runs, 41 RBIs, and not cross the Mendoza line, hitting at 191. He's had a 1 for 4 so far in this series. Shift is on against him, and he'll take the breaking ball, and that's going to be in there for a strike as well, and the count will go to 0-2.
I mean, there's your the shoe top drop, the hook, the yacker. That's about as good a curveball as you can throw.
Pena is second in strikeouts in the league to Adam Dunn. He's got 126, but he is also third in the league in walks with 60. What a combination. Runner at first base, down to first, knocked down, gonna go and get one relay. Oh, what a double play! You don't exactly practice that, but folks, when it works, it's 2 outs.
Well, it easily could have been a toss into left center. I think Mark Reynolds is so surprised. Now he's coming off the bag, or at least he's supposed to. Oh, look what I have. And then from his knees, he did not have to throw it that way. Hardy up, down, and then the one hopper. Exactly the way you don't practice it, but it works.
Pena could not have been any slower getting down to first base. That's not a major league double play. It just happened in the majors. Yeah. Big difference.
Well, that easily could have been a double down the right field line. And, Pena hit. I mean, he's a low ball hitter. He gets a pitch to hit. He hits a rocket. Most first basemen actually come off the bag a little bit, because if you do, it's by you.
That's the beauty.
Yeah, really.
I love this.
Well, sometimes you need breaks. That's why they use a big glove. But nice play by Hardy just to catch it, tag the base, get the lead runner. So there you go.
2 big double plays here in the first 2 innings. That's going to be a base hit into right field. So Sam Fold is on, picking up the 2-out single. After 2 walks in the first inning, Zobrist hit into the double play, and after a leadoff walk in this inning, Pena hits into the double play, followed by a Fold single. That'll be the first hit of the ball game for either team, and will get Molina to the plate.
But if you're the Orioles, he's faced 7 batters and 4 have reached. So he really is not commanding his stuff. But then again, if you're a starting pitcher, sometimes you don't have all your command early on. You hope it gets better as the game proceeds.
Molina will take the pitch inside. He's not appeared in this series. First time, starting his 50th game and appearing in his 60th. He's already surpassed the total number of games he played last year with Toronto, on a pace to play almost 100 ball games this year. Molina with a 1-0 count, 193. You look at these averages, and these 2 teams both struggle offensively, and I can't help but think the change in the ball game. You got 5-6 guys, more than that maybe, that are hitting 200, 225 or less. I mean, a couple of decades ago, you wouldn't have been in AAA with those kind of numbers.
Well, that's why they're 10th, 11th in runs along with the Orioles. I mean, last night the Orioles played 3-4 players that normally wouldn't be in a major league lineup because of injuries and whatever. Not a lot of depth. I mean, everybody's aware of that. They had 4 outfielders on their 40-man roster going into spring training. So when you get injuries, and all the teams happen. I mean, I'm reading about the Red Sox. They've had 22 players on the DL this year. 22.
Yep. So it is, and nobody's got that kind of depth. Nobody, not even the Yankees.
Of course, yeah. The Yankees and the Red Sox have more than most.
They can
teams.
go buy it. Yeah. 1-0 count, Molina. Tillman's delivery on the way, and that pitch is going to be outside, and a 2-0 count. Already a little stretch starting to happen in the wild card thing. Both the Orioles and Tampa Bay find themselves 2.5 games out in the wild card, as Oakland coming in here for a 3-game set, and the Angels trying to put a little ground between themselves and everybody else before they get too far into the month of August.
And of course you have to understand, as I know you do, I mean, with Oakland coming in over the weekend, they've won 16 out of 18. Now if the Orioles start getting back to trending towards winning 16 out of 18, 12 out of 16, something like that, that gap will close in a hurry. But they just haven't been able to do it. But the A's have.
Runner at first base, 2 down. Molina will take the big cut right straight back.
Yes, we're not seeing the Chris Tillman we saw out in Seattle when he was about as good as you could be. Again, great place to pitch, perfect day, about 65 degrees, 25 degrees hotter today with humidity, which again maybe sometimes for some pitchers causes you to grip the ball differently. Miguel Gonzalez said, I just couldn't grip the ball last night. It just had no reason for it. Just did not have any feel, and they made him pay for it.
2-1 count. This is the first start at home this year for Tillman. He started those games at Seattle, at Minnesota, and at Cleveland. So Tillman lifetime there at Camden Yards 4-6 with a 5.28 ERA, but the first time this year to pitch in his home yard. Molina will back out. Fold on at first base.
And I'm not
Molina
really
sweating it out.
Yeah, you would think if the time is right that Fold Sam will be stealing. But then again, if Tillman, who usually holds runners pretty well, even though he was unable to do it back in the first.
Runner not going. Molina will pop that one up. Reynolds going back. Foul territory. Second baseman. And oh, what a catch! Quintanilla came in underneath, got out of the way, and Reynolds going backwards, able to haul it in. Well, some defensive plays here in the second inning have made the difference. A real fine play by Reynolds. It's 21 and over will get the Orioles Maryland flag floppy hat presented by Miller Lite. Annual favorite, and there'll be a fireworks display tomorrow night after the ball game. Get your tickets now, 888-848-BIRD, to go to Orioles.com. Oakland A's will be coming in for a big 3-game set starting tomorrow night. Zach Britton will be starting against Jared Parker. And Oakland playing today. They have won 7 in a row, 9 out of their last 10. They are tied in the West with the Angels, 5 games behind the division leading Rangers.
16-0 last night over the Jays.
Yep. And the Jays, what a disaster. Talk about injuries.
Yeah, well, that, and then Ricky Romero has gone south. I mean, usually about as reliable left-hander as.
Davis will put that one up in the air to left field. A lot of haze, a lot of sun, a lot of glare.
And he got a good pitch to hit, but again, it's been a struggle lately for Chris.
So Davis out of there on the fly ball to Jennings, and 1 down. Betemeet, Wilson Betemeet, a 1 for 7 in this series against Shields. He's had only 1 at bat, and 0 for 1 against him. The Orioles, with a loss last night, now are 23-24 at home, a game below 500, 5 games above 500 on the road, and a strike taken. Orioles have hit almost 30 points higher here at home than they have on the road, but they've not been able to hold opponents down. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Betemeet will take it. It is in there for a strike, and it goes to 0-2.
Yeah, you would think that this would be a little bit of a mismatch because Wilson Betemeet, this is his best side, but he's a really good fastball hitter, and they try to get him out with soft stuff. And remember, Shield throws 50% of that.
And got him. Yep. Play's got to be made by Molina. He'll lob toss that one down to Pena. Strikeout number 3.
So when you get a fastball to hit, which is what he did, but it was on the outside corner, that may be the only fastball you're going to get to hit off of James Shields.
And that will bring up Mark Reynolds. Take a look at our worth repeating from Mark Reynolds. I don't know if tonight I'm going to get 4 hits or what, but obviously I feel like I'm going to be able to revert to my old self and be that guy at the plate, talking about delivering long balls and RBIs this team can count on. And if I can contribute over the next 2 months, then I know that I'll be doing my part for this team. Right now, obviously he's saying that because he's down to 207 and the long ball's abandoning.
Well, yeah, I don't think the average is as much an issue as, again, at this time he had 17 home runs in the second half of the season, so on his way to 37. So that's what you're looking for, and you buy into the low average and the strikeouts, but you'd like to have the long ball, and you like to have it with a couple of guys on. And that won't be the case here, but he'd take a solo.
The difference this year, he is averaging a home run this year every 29 at bats. That is the highest percentage for him in 6 years in the majors. By comparison, he had a home run every 14 at bats last year. He will take the walk, and Shields has surrendered 3 of those. This one comes with 2 down.
Yeah, and you can do that. Home run hitter at the plate, if you get behind somebody when your team doesn't score you a lot of runs, you figure, you know what, I'll either make my pitch or I will pitch to the singles hitter behind him, and then you get speed. And that's what Quintanilla brings to the plate. You get speed off the bases, but you do open up a hole.
Quintanilla getting another start at second base, 2 for 6 in the series, and will take the first pitch up high for a ball. No score, second inning, only 1 hit in the ball game. The Rays' Sam Fold has had it, but the 2 pitchers have combined for 6 walks through the first inning and 2/3. Shields with a 1-0 count. Very short lead at first. Quintanilla on the swing through will foul that one off at the plate. Shields this year, as far as walks per game are concerned, the most he's given up 4, and he has done that twice. With all the high numbers he's got, the walks have not been a particular problem. 39 and 131 innings coming into the ball game, but 3 of them here so far in this game. Quintanilla with a 1-ball 1-strike count. Reynolds just barely off the bag at first. And the pitch is taken down low, 2-1.
Yeah, you look at his record at 8-6 when you talk about James Shields, you go, well, that's not that bad, but he started out 5-0. And the ERA has come up at about a run and a half. I mean, he had his career year last year, but the one thing you do get, and you can see not a lot of fastballs, trust all his other pitches, but 5 straight years of 200+ innings. So he is a workhorse. Of course, he's really been able to stay healthy.
1-ball 1-strike count. Quintanilla will foul it back. Talked about the change and what he uses. There are the lowest percentage of fastball pitches used in the majors.
Yep. Well, you know, R.A. Dickey's a knuckleballer, so we know why he leads. Romero's struggling. Shields is struggling. Bedard, well, Zito throws about 84 now, 83, so I can see why he's using his other pitches. He's lost his fastball 3 or 4 years ago.
2-ball 2-strike count. Quintanilla fouls it again.
You see, that's a little cut fastball that he was able to get Matt Wieters out with a couple of guys on back in the first inning. He just starts it off the outside corner. Jim Hickey on the left, Tom Foley, the third base coach, on the right. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, says, I just don't think he trusts his fastball, and the numbers show that. But again, we've seen him throw 93 with movement today, and it drives him crazy.
2-ball 2-strike count. 36 pitches thrown by Shields, not yet through 2 innings. Quintanilla over the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Reynolds will make the turn. He's going to go as the ball dies in the outfield. Upton will lob it back in, and the Orioles cover the corners with 2 down.
See, and I'm sure that Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, is saying, well, let's see. He hit the fastball over our dugout, and it was a horrible changeup, but what it does, it speeds up the bat. So now Omar Quintanilla is able to get to something where he couldn't get to the fastball, and now you have another chance to put some runs on the board.
So the Orioles, with runners at first and third, 2 down, will ask Nick Markakis to do it in the leadoff spot. Nick flied out to left field, his first time up. Markakis with runners in scoring position this season, 245. But of course, since coming back from the injury after the All-Star break, has been a fire in that leadoff spot. Big throw put on by Shields, who gunned it over, and Pena almost got handcuffed on that one. Nick Markakis, 352 here in the month of July. The leadoff spot has certainly been his. He's been taking the ball the other way a lot, and right now it's anything to get that run in with 2 down.
Yeah, big hole up the middle as they play him to pull.
Off-speed breaking ball will miss.
And there's your tight strike zone, because that's a curveball that would normally be called a strike.
Molina having some words with Gary Darling, the home plate umpire, as he held on to that ball a little bit, trying to spread that strike zone.
Well, he just didn't call it.
1-0 count.
And look at the different stance over the last month since he's come off the DL. And take a look. I mean, this is a game of adjustments. Well, here's Nick in April. Now look at him in July. So again, he's in the load position. One of the guys that did that a couple of years ago and has turned out to be one of the best home run hitters in the league is Curtis Granderson. Put his hands behind him a little bit, over his left shoulder. And it just gives you a little bit more chance to load and wait.
Here's the 1-1 delivery to him. Markakis in the air to left field. Jennings over. And he's got it. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. The Orioles have stranded 4, 2 in scoring position through the first 2 innings. Plays that one. Reynolds to Hardy and back to Reynolds off the bat of Pena. Then Reynolds going down the line, hauling this one in with Quintanilla sliding underneath him. That ended the last inning. 2 double plays and that fine catch. And the Orioles defense, much maligned, has come through for Tillman to help get him out of innings.
Yeah, you're a little bit concerned that, again, Quintanilla comes over from the Mets, that he didn't get injured, or maybe Mark Reynolds gets injured. Talk to Robert Andino. His shoulder a lot better, after it comes out of the joint, but back in very quickly. So I would imagine he'll go out on rehab early next week. And I can't imagine when you played as much as he has, it'll take long as the shoulder, and that is his non-throwing shoulder, his left shoulder.
Here is Johnson, the number 9 hitter. Leadoff batters on with a walk in each of the first 2 innings of this ball game. Johnson, a switch hitter, 1 for 4 for Elliott Johnson in the series. Johnson's had a big year against the Orioles. He is 8 for 22 with a home run and 6 RBIs against the Orioles in the series so far. This is game number 9. The Orioles have trail in the series 3-5. Pop that one up. Wieters, Betamit, Wieters. Johnson retired. One away. Tomorrow night and every Friday home game is AT&T Student Night. All students any age can purchase a left field upper reserve ticket, $6 with a valid school ID. And what student doesn't have one of those? Student night tickets are limited. Fans are encouraged to arrive at the box office early to take advantage of the offer. 888-848-BIRD. Friday nights.
I'm trying to think. There they go. Oh, there's a hook. A valid ID. Oh, yeah.
All students have have IDs.
Well, somebody's
Let's eliminate
ID.
one of those words.
Yeah, right.
Here's Denman Jennings, who drew a walk his first time up. Saw some of the colorful shirts on hand. Camp day, school buses all over the place around Camden Yards, bringing the kids in from camps as they get to take a field trip while they're on a field trip. A 1-ball, 1-strike delivery. And Jennings on a check swing. A called strike to him, 1-2.
And they have some pretty astute, smart counselors. They're sitting in the shade, even though it's not 106 like it was forecasted.
Here's the 1-2 delivery. And that ball put in the air to left field. Davis.
Yes.
Couple of outs. Fans, the Masson Orioles Facebook page, the only place you can win a signed Adam Jones 12 All-Star jersey. Log on to Facebook.com/Masson Orioles and enter now for your chance to win. That's NOW. Stay tuned to Orioles games all season long for more chances at exclusive Masson prizes.
Yeah, Chris Tillman's been effectively wild today. I mean, if he goes from 91 to 94, that's how he got the fastball in on Jennings. Right there, 92. Down and away. Something he hadn't been able to establish. But again, the windup. I just look at the windup. I mean, his windup is much more direct than it was. And when he was working with Brady Anderson, I said, why do you fly open? He said, well, there's a pretty girl over my left shoulder. That's what they taught me in high school. And they told me to grab her. I said, move the girl behind home plate.
Good counseling, good high school counseling.
Yeah, just as long as you grab her, but let's put her in the right spot. But he's made some big changes mechanically, and stuff's better.
2-1 delivery, and that ball's put up in the air right field. Nick Markakis. And a 1-2-3 inning. So that will do it. Orioles will be coming up in the third. Hardy, Tomey, and Jones. Have your valid IDs ready, please. Brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed. Internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. By 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy fixes tired fast. And by Chevy Cruze. Offering the best highway mileage of any gas engine in America. Not many days when Jimmy Tyler's not here. James, we missed you at the ballpark today and just wanted to say hi. Get back here in a hurry.
Yeah, some maybe some health issues of something, but we certainly, because he's been here about, 80 years now?
Mm-hmm. great Tyler family, interwoven in Orioles baseball history. And a strike taken on the outside corner. Hardy drew a walk his first time up. Shields 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Tillman 3 walks and a strikeout. 1 hit each. And that ball in the air. That's playable. Jennings near the warning track. And 1 away.
So the ball seems to be carrying. I mean, not even hit well, and it gets a couple of feet shy. Of course, it's the power alley is very friendly here at Camden Yards. 364 to left center field.
That'll be 4 putouts already for Jennings in left field. Last 2 have gone to him. So he's getting some roaming time out there in left. Again, very little breeze, but what there is looks like it's going a little bit out to left field. Here's Jim Thome. Thome up the middle. He's got a base hit. And after that first pitch, trying for the wickets on Shields, the Orioles have their second hit.
Yeah, you just follow through. That's your normal way. It doesn't fall off very demonstratively towards first base. But any ball to your right when you're a right-handed pitcher, to the glove side, it's easy to knock down. But when you have to reach back and the ball's hit firmly like that one by Jim Thome, you're going to get yourself a base hit.
So Thome on with 1 away, and here's Adam Jones. Adam drew a walk his first time up. Those big numbers off Shields, including 1 home run. Trying to take advantage of it here.
Well, that tells me, Gary, and I had guys that had numbers like that. They see the ball well, and usually you don't make real good pitches.
Adam check swing foul ball.
Well, that wasn't one. That was pretty good. Little cut fastball.
They put the switch on against him with Zobrist moving way over, not all the way on the other side, but they give Adam Jones the whole right side of the infield.
Because he doesn't hit many ground balls there. Now, we've seen him hit home runs to right center. Hit a 3-run shot on the last road trip in Minnesota. But on the ground, it's mostly in the pull mode, and that's why they play him pretty much straight away at shortstop. But Zobrist, the second baseman, right behind the pitcher.
That one towards the seats. And that's where it's going to end up. And a 2-strike count on Adam Jones. Couple of hits so far in the 7 at-bats he's had in this series. He's had a good year against Tampa Bay, hitting .313 with 2 home runs against the Rays on the season. This game will be the halfway mark as far as the series is concerned against Tampa Bay. Orioles, in fact, are going to finish against the Rays the end of the season on the road. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Came and caught the corner, and Shields gets his 4th K.
I'm going to take a look, and it's one of those you started it as a hip. You can see Molina, just a little cutter. You could see him again, just a little bit more pull with the middle finger, and the ball just moves right to left just enough. And then again, you can notice Molina moved in, Gary Darling, the home plate umpire, moved in, and the pitch is right in front of his eyes.
So now Wieters with 2 down. Wieters called out on strikes his first time up. We've talked about the strikeouts here in July for the Orioles. 21 games have been played. 10 out of the 21, the Orioles have had 10 or more strikeout games. However, only 6 of the 21 have they had 10 or more hits. So the K's have really started to pile up, and that's one of the reasons that runner in scoring position number obviously is drawn off and why the runs are down.
Yeah, David Price, who won his 14th, that leads the major leagues. Tim Presley talking about the performance. Of course, they got him 5 first-inning runs, but he said, you know, I mean, he could pitch at 96, go to 99, got his curveball over, got his slider over, got his changeup over, and then he had a big lead.
He had 10 strikeouts when he came out of the ball game and becomes the first 14-game winner. He's now 14-4, making a run at a Cy Young Award.
And then out on the West Coast, Jared Weaver didn't pitch as well, but won his 13-1 with the lowest earned run average. You know, when you have a low ERA, when you give up 2 runs in 5 innings, and it goes up, went from 220 to 226.
Playing behind the runner at first base, 1 ball, 2-strike count. And Wieters on a swing and a miss. So another strikeout. Wieters with a couple of them. Shields with 5 in the ball game, and a base runner left on. No score. The order with the Yankees, and Derek Jeter batted second. The two of them, you see the combined hits. That's the most combined hits for a number 1 and 2 hitter since it was Henderson and Gwynn batting 1 and 2 back in 2001. We're talking about Jared Weaver going to 13 and 1. First American League pitcher to start 13 and 1 since Roger Clemens won 20 of his first 21 decisions back in 01. And the Miami Marlins stole 7 bases. They lost the game to the Braves 7-1 last night. They are the first team 7 stolen bases in a 9-inning game in more than 100 years. You got to go back to the White Sox in 1909 against the St. Louis Browns. So now and then some numbers from Major League Baseball. Tillman up to 46, had a 1-2-3 inning in the third. First pitch strikes 7 of 11 and gets one right there to second base. Quintanilla makes the play. Zobrist is retired.
Yeah, nice little play. So again, just coming to the league. Otherwise, you might relax because Zobrist hardly ever swings at the first pitch, but he likes it, hits it sharply. But there you go. 1 pitch, 1 out because of good defense. So the double plays. And that wasn't a routine play from the knees.
That will bring Joyce to the plate. Joyce, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Joyce also a good season against the Orioles, 7 for 23 with a couple of RBIs. He brings a 6-game hit streak into the ball game, and that is in there for a strike.
Now he's got to go back to the first time. He struck him out on a good changeup, but the first pitch fastball he threw him, and he's a good fastball hitter, he ripped it foul. So stay out of that zone. And there's the changeup again. Yeah.
And it goes to a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Joyce has had 2 6-game hit streaks this season. Those are highs for him on the year. And the off-speed delivery is a called strike, and it goes to 1-2. So Tillman, who survived a very rocky first 2 innings, walking the first 2 batters in the first and the leadoff batter in the second, trying to just settle down now and throw some strikes. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Joyce. The Orioles sticking with the rotation with Britton, Hunter, and Chen due to go in the Oakland series. Jones will have to go over in a hurry, and that'll fall in for a base hit. I think Adam thought that had a little more on it when it came off the bat. Ended up being a dying quail. Base hit, 1 away. Orioles Legend Celebration Series returns on Saturday, August 11. Eddie Murray's going to be honored with that larger-than-life bronze sculpture in the new center field picnic area. The gates will open at 5. Ceremony's 5:15. All the fans get a replica Eddie Murray sculpture, so we hope you'll come out and honor Eddie. 888-848-BIRD. That's going to be on August 11. Ryan Roberts drew a walk his first time up. Joyce on with hit number 2 for the Rays at first, 1 out. Slider way up high and a 1-0 count.
Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes because when Chris gets out of sorts, he goes left. And when he does, that's up and out. And you think it's maybe a slider, but it's really just a fastball that he pulls off the corner. And again, you're back into a fastball count with a very good fastball hitter at the plate.
Throw over to get Joyce back to the bag.
Yeah, it doesn't run much. He's 4 for 4, though. I'm going to play on this team. 82 stolen bases. Then you add the one that Jennings had. 83 on the year. But again, when you have a good fastball hitter at the plate, and you saw that last night, it doesn't mean you can't throw it. It just has to be down, has to be on the outside quarter of the plate.
Here's the 1-0 delivered to Roberts, and a swing and maybe foul tipped. Like Wieters had to hang on. Home plate umpire leaning over Gary Darling to ask Wieters if he was all right.
You see him pull it down, that backspin on the heater, and he just couldn't quite get to it.
Take a backswing here. Oh yeah, that bat came around, I think, caught Matt right in the back. And a 1-ball 1-strike count. Roberts, he's got good speed. Infield cheats in a little bit, looking for the ground ball. Runner not going, and foul back. Thought tell you about delivery as Jim is regarding Tillman. I will never forget R.A. Dickey talking with him in New York and the definition he gave about the adjustment made so that he can throw strikes. I throw through an open door into a shoebox. I thought it was the most precise definition I've ever heard a pitcher give about what he's doing. Keep the windup compact, so I throw it through the door when I let it go, and it ends up in the shoebox, the strike zone, on the finish. Here's the 1-2 of the runner going, and that's down the line and foul.
Yeah, and then he threw in there that let's see, Wakefield said you throw at the top of the catcher's mask. That was another little clue. He said Phil Niekro said make sure that you keep your arm in front of your body, because again, when you throw a knuckleball, obviously a lot different than you throw any of your other pitches, because you throw it without any spin. I mean, just think about it. Every other pitch you throw, you want to make it move, and you're pulling or you're tugging, but you just kind of propel it with your fingertips and hope that it aerodynamically does its thing.
1-2 delivery on the way, and if you think about that throwing through the door, it's precisely what you're doing. You're holding your whole body in kind of a square. You don't throw your arms out, your shoulders out. You got to keep the shoulder width in order to fit through the door, and Dickey does that straight up and down, and then just that knuckler comes with virtually no movement on it.
Well, that's why we showed you Rick Adair. He would say, okay, it's posture, it's rhythm, and then you want to throw north and south. You're north and home plate is south. Well, that's why when I asked him why he had a tendency to open up, he said, well, if somebody told me I want to come left. Well, you don't want to go left. You want to extend. And I honestly think, because you have to understand how young Chris Tillman is. He turned 24 in April. I mean, he's going to get better. He's going to wind up. He's going to even have more extension, get down the hill, and the velocity will even get higher.
Runner going again. Wieters the throw, and he got him at another defensive play. A strike him out, throw him out, double play. Wieters, who's throwing him out 33% of the time, joins in the defensive flow. How often have we been able to say that about the Orioles this season? Able to get the outs. Last play.
Well, yeah, he gets away with a slider up, but again, a fastball hitter, breaking ball, and then pretty much tailor-made because of the quick release. Joyce not a straight steal, so he's hoping that Ryan Roberts makes contact, which he does in an easy. So that's 3 times they've had double plays already in 4 innings.
So in the scoreless ball game, we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning, and the pitch to Davis, who flied out his first time up, taken for a ball. Hitting at 254.
Yeah, you were alluding to the fact of what Buck Solowar was saying, that we just have to be more patient and more focused and make pitchers throw strikes. And he was talking about Chris Davis, because on Tuesday night he chased 16 pitches, 12 out of the strike zone. So the message is, don't get yourself out. Have an idea, make him throw strikes, make it a little bit more difficult. Everybody knows how hard it is to hit.
Hitting only 152 since the middle of June. That's been a very long streak for Chris Davis, whom the Orioles, of course, rely on to deliver the home runs. And he'll foul that one away. And the count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And in Chris's defense, he's not the only guy. I mean, you have a guy that one of the best players in baseball, Josh Hamilton. Nolan Ryan said, he's got to get more mentally tough and focus more. And then Ron Washington, his manager, said, hey, I agree with Nolan. And then, of course, big article to, he said, and Josh Hamilton said, you know what? Hey, I need to get mentally more alert. I mean, I'm expanding. I'm out of the zone. Of course, this is a guy that had 21 home runs and about 60 RBIs going into June.
Ground ball to first base, covering Shields. He'll take the toss from Pena. Davis is retired. 1 down in the 4th inning.
And then Josh Hamilton went on to say that I have to get less pull conscious. I need to use the whole field. So it's not the first time that Chris Davis has heard this. He came out of that organization. In fact, when Josh Hamilton hit the 4 home runs the next day, they were having a conversation. There's Jim Thome. He knows about that. Use the whole field. And when you have power. And there's a young player, Rule 5 guy, Ryan Flaherty, talking to Thome. I know he's going to tell him something of import.
Best place to eat tonight? Waterfront Kitchen.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, I'm a big Jim Thome fan.
0-1 delivery on a broken bat, popped up. Nobody saw it. Pena didn't anyway, but it won't matter.
Well, it was up about brim high. A little cutter up and in.
Pena turning the first base umpire, I think, asking, did you see that?
Well, I think Wilson Betemeat saying, if anything straight or semi-straight other than a curveball or a changeup, I'm swinging at it.
He struck out his first time up and has a 2-strike count against him here. Shields, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts in the ball game. And Betemeat drawing a little time. Each team a couple of hits. 5 left on by the Orioles, 2 by the Rays so far. And over the top of that one, strikeout number 6 for Shields.
And you can see why, because he doesn't want to get to where he has to chase the curveball. And this is a good one. And you're watching a great camera angle. He pulls down on it. That's how you throw a curveball, out in front of you. So it's the break. I mean, very compact right there. So again, deception over the front side, and then the extending down towards home plate.
The season high for Shields in strikeouts, 11 against Seattle. His career high is 13. Came last year in the game against the then Florida, now Miami Marlins. Here's Mark Reynolds. Reynolds with 2 down, nobody on. Reynolds drew a walk as Shields stayed away from the strike zone on him and starts him out inside here.
Well, the key, I think Mark Reynolds is a better low ball hitter than high ball hitter, so you try to stay either, I mean, it's one of those high and tight type of hitters. Oh, there's one of the few balls that has been called a strike. Backup slider, and of course it doesn't make a whole lot of difference, but 3-0 versus 2-1. I mean, that ball's well up and in. And
our pitch strike brought to you by Kia Motors. To learn more, visit kia.com. Down to 3rd and foul.
Yeah, that's the zone you want to stay away from.
Reynolds with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. and 2 away. Mark's last home run coming against the Twins on the 16th of this month. Reynolds has had only 2 homers in the month of July and hitting just 200, and will foul that off right at the plate. Count will stay at 2-2. Shields with something in his eye or some problem as he takes the hat off and goes to the side of the mound.
Could be just perspiration. One of those days. I still remember Dave McNally pitching one Sunday afternoon in Chicago with 95 humidity to match. It looked like Niagara Falls coming off the brim of his hat.
Fortunately, not as hot as anticipated today, but we're in the mid-90s. Here's the 2-2 delivery and a swing and a miss. So for the Orioles, 7 strikeouts as they pile them up here in this one, and a 1-2-3 inning for Shields. Scoreless. Wrap up this series against the Rays. 2 teams tied for second. Tillman on the mound with 2 strikeouts, 3 walks so far in the game. The Orioles defense has backed him up with big defensive plays to help get him out of innings as the Orioles try and avoid the sweep. And back the Birds Day. Grill Street staffing with the t-shirts provided for all the fans that are here at the ballpark.
Yeah, stopper versus sweeper. Shields trying to sweep. And Chris Tillman right there, the 24-year right-hander, trying to put a skid to the losing streak against the Rays. There you go. A lot of fastballs. A little bit better the last 2 innings of establishing the curveball, which is his 3rd pitch.
The all-time leading Rays home run hitter, Carlos Pena, will stand in. Pena hit into one of those double plays, a 3-6-3 in the 2nd inning. He's had just 1 hit in 5 at-bats so far in the series. And Pena will take that first pitch for a strike. Carlos Pena hitting 206 off righties and 164 off left-handers.
But you're right about the home run threat. Since 2007, only 5 guys that have hit more home runs, and they're a pretty impressive group. Ryan Howard, Prince Fielder, Pujols, Teixeira, and then Miguel Cabrera. So you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a low batting average with a good on-base percentage, good fielding, and home runs.
Billy Beane's kind of player. Yeah. Fouled away. He has had 8 home runs here in this ballpark lifetime. 241 batting average for Pena at Camden Yards. And Tillman will try and keep him off the board here. Tillman is, of course, has pitched only with the 4 innings here, 20 innings on the season. 1 home run, and that came a left-hander against him. And a towering pop-up. Wieters coming back, and not enough room. And Pena will hold the count at a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it seems like he's been around a lot longer than this will be his 9th major league season. He's only 34. And did briefly play for Billy Beane in the Oakland A's.
He would not be lost on the radar for those numbers. Here's the 1-2 delivery over the top. Got him. Tillman gets his 3rd strikeout.
Well, again, sometimes the complementary pitches we saw with the hanging slider that Roberts threw right here. It's just a changeup. It's not a great one, but it's something different. You can see him turn it over and it runs away. And Pena, who again will span the strike zone, even the disciplined hitters do it with 2 strikes, chases.
Sam Fuld coming to the plate. Fuld a single. Fuld has a hit. Joyce has a hit. Both are singles for the Rays. The Orioles, Quintanilla and Thome, the 2 base hits, and both of those have been singles. Though these 2 offensively challenged teams are offensively challenged so far here. Tillman over to get it, and there are 2 down. Time for our AT&T Mobility Trivia Fact. Chris Tillman threw 125 in his first start of 2012, 116 in his 3rd start 5 days ago. Those are the 2 highest pitch counts of his career. He has, however, allowed only 1 earned run in the 15 innings in those starts. Today he is up to 65 pitches thrown. 2 down, 5th inning. And Molina, who popped out, fouls it back.
Well, he's mixing in a 4th pitch, the slider. Doesn't always get it down and away, and so they really, now that you're into the 5th inning, they haven't been able to eliminate any pitch because he's been trying to throw them all. And there's a good fastball at 95. So he's been effectively wild. He's getting better as the game progresses, which is certainly what you want to see with young pitchers. And that's about as good a fastball as you could throw, 95 on the outside part of the plate.
Molina on a check swing off the screen of the Orioles dugout. Molina last 2 years played with Toronto rather, coming over as a free agent last November to Tampa Bay, and as we said, he already's going to play about double the number of games, at least the pace he's on, compared to last year with Toronto. 241 lifetime hitter at the major league level, hitting 192 right now. And again, fouls the pitch away. 0-2 it stays. Molina's always been the strong-armed, good glove catcher. He can pick off runners on base, throw out base stealers. Molina's up to 34% here in the games he's caught this year, throwing out base stealers. Down to 3rd base. He's going to take a tough play. It's a fair ball. It'll roll into foul territory. Molina is going to chug into 2nd base, and he will go in with a stand-up double. 2 down, runner at 2nd.
Yeah, that's the problem with the curveball. When a guy's late on your fastball, and he certainly was, when you throw him a hook, it's hard to really command it. So it just stays up enough where he gets to pull it. So again, this is a ball that Betemit should have knocked down. You have to understand, the ball to your right is going to be a double. It's nothing. Just put leather on it. And he does it.
And the fans rendered some boos after that ball got by him.
Well, that's not an easy play because he was off the line. But once you recognize that, you got to understand the situation, the scoreboard. Right here, right there. It's nothing. Knock it down. It's a single.
Elliott Johnson will foul that one off. He popped out his first time up. So a runner in scoring position. Again, the Rays so far in this series 5 for 16 with runners in scoring position.
Well, Johnson got the big hit in the 1st inning after the ball went off the lip. 2-run single. He's their highest and best hitter with runners in scoring position.
Back into the seats, and Tillman gets ahead of him 0-2. Keep in mind, on a base hit here, you have a very slow runner at 2nd base in Molina if Johnson puts something in play. There are 2 away.
Yeah, Chris Davis throws better than Steve Tollefson, who was playing left last night.
Up high for a ball. Tollefson, of course, gone. If you missed it at the top of our show, Dana Evelyn called up with all the bullpen use last night. Orioles needed to shore that up a little bit. So Evelyn's here. Tollefson sent down. 1-2. Elliott Johnson waiting on it, and a swing and a miss. Tillman picks him up. That's his 4th strikeout, 2 in the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Right now, neither team doing anything offensively with 4 singles combined in this one, and we are scoreless. And as Buck says, at a point where all of these games become ever so important, and now we're down to grind out time in this one.
It really is. And, obviously, we talked about it in game 1 and 2. Tampa's used to this. They've been in the postseason 3 out of 4. This is new territory for the Orioles. So, this is a must-win game. Your bullpen, they got knocked around yesterday, but they sequenced their way through the bullpen, so everybody is ready. You're not going to use Dana Evelyn, who just came back from AAA Norfolk. So this is a game you have to win, and you're going to have to beat Shields. When you play Tampa Bay and you have to face Hellickson and then Price, who's got 14 wins, and then James Shields, who's 6-1 here, 9-5 lifetime, you're going to have to get some clutch hits, and hopefully they'll get in a position to be able to do that this afternoon.
One of the problems for the Orioles with the lineup overall, and especially now with the strikeouts piling up, they have a very hard time playing small ball. They just don't have a team that can do that. The Rays a little better structured to try and manufacture.
Well, yeah, and it's not only, it's stolen bases. The Orioles at 32, they're at 82. But how about going from first to third, scoring from second to home? So you just hope, and this is really what the game's about, that with Shields will make a mistake, you'll get the right guy at the plate at the right time, and all of a sudden you go away with a win.
It'll be Quintana leading it off. Quintana's had one of the 2 Oriole hits, a single. Quintanilla will take the pitch, and it is up high for a ball. So 9-1-2 in the order for the Orioles. In at third base, Roberts. Quintanilla puts it up in the air to left field. It'll carry near the warning track, and the ever-present Jennings puts it away. 1 down on a couple of pitches. Our PNC Minor League report brought to you by PNC. For the achiever in you, take a look at Dylan Bundy. Last 5 starts, Frederick, A ball, 2-1 mark. Earned runs only 5, 21 hits, walk to strikeout ratio, and with the season 4-3 and a 2.98 ERA. Good article by Tom Viducci, SportsIllustrated.com, on Dylan Bundy that was posted today. Worth taking a look at, about polishing up the gem. The #1 pitching prospect right now in baseball.
Yeah, that Baltimore Press Box did a great article too, talking about the work ethic of the Bundy family.
That will be fouled back by Nick Markakis, who's flied to left twice.
Kind of interesting article, at least comment by Rick Peterson, a longtime Major League pitching coach. Oakland, Milwaukee, the Mets, saying that he's probably ready to pitch in the big leagues now. Not that they should pitch him here, but that's why you bring him up, where he just can't pitch with just his fastball. So
Markakis up the middle, and wisely Shields got that hand and arm out of the way after thinking about going after it, and Markakis has got a base hit and a 6-game hit streak.
Well, he made adjustments after the Hammett bone, after he missed about 5 weeks, and again, sharp hit. Again, he spins, And it's in the middle of the plate, but watch him cover the outside corner, and that's what the good hitters do. And he just grounds it back where nobody plays.
So let's see if the Orioles can do something with their third hit coming here in the 5th inning. J.J. Hardy is walked flat out to left. Nick Markakis will be held by Pena in a very short lead, at least to start. The throw over by Shields.
Yeah, Nick only 2 attempts, 1 for 1, or one out of 2 this year.
9 for 11 base stealers against Shields on the year. But Molina with a strong arm still behind the plate.
Yeah, like we told you, Jose Lobaton, who had the big offensive night, only 2 for 20 going into last night's game.
So the Orioles do in fact try and move him up, and actually bunting for a base hit. Hardy had Roberts way back at third, believing he would not bunt. Hardy tried to lay one down,
and he did it on the first strike. So what happens is Ryan Roberts is going to have to come in. At least he'll come in even with the bag, so he's probably about 4 steps closer to home plate, and that's when you want to bunt. You don't want to do it deeper in the count.
Hardy hitting just 163 here in the month of July, gets hit right in the rib cage. So Shields hits his 7th batter of the year, and the Orioles a real shot now in the 5th inning to get on the board.
Yeah, just trying to go in, and he usually pitches in with the best of them and plunks them. Here, hopefully, it's a lot of ribs there. Maybe looks low enough. You certainly know it hurts. That's what I call taking one for the club. And JJ does that.
So the Orioles get 2 on, and Jim Thome, who singled his last time up, will come to the plate. Thome with the Orioles with runners in scoring position, a couple of hits in 14 at bats, and the Orioles really struggling to find that big hit. You see they are 0 for 2 today. They are 1 for 9 in the series.
Yeah, 232 coming into the game, and that's as we showed you last night, the league average is 260. Gives you perspective of how much lower.
Thome wanted that first pitch and a strike on him.
Well, you know, again, going back to what Josh Hamilton, he said, not only am I chasing, he said, but when I chase, I put it in play. So I'm swinging pitcher's pitches. The good thing about Jim Thome, he airs it out.
0-1 delivery to him and stayed away from him. Thome will fall behind on the count, 0-2. Thome in the 63 at bats he's had has struck out now 23 times. 0-2 count. Runners off first and second base. Thome a little wider by Shields, and he doesn't go after it. 1-2.
Well, I guess the only good news, if you're a Moneyball fan, that's what they said. Either hit home runs, strike out. Earl Weaver used to say that. Please don't hit into a double play. Pop it up, save us an out. And if he does, you got Jones up on coming up next. So
1-2 delivery on the way. Thome takes it, and the breaking ball misses down low. 2-ball, 2-strike count.
And Jim makes a nice adjustment, similar to the curveballs he chased early in the count.
Shields. Orioles have had runners in scoring position in each of the first 2 innings. Now again here in the 5th. He's been able to keep the leadoff batter off base. Does it 68% of the time, and in all 5 of the innings in this game. Very close. Outside, 3-2.
Well, that's that backdoor cutter. More pressure on the middle finger and trying to bring it back and catch the outside corner. He's done it to Wieters a couple of times. And again, it's a great pitch, but misses by just a couple of inches.
Thome, 18 home runs in his career here at Camden Yards. And he'll take it, and they're loaded. And Shields upset with himself, demonstrative about it, as the Orioles have loaded him up with only 1 down.
Well, there's a veteran hitter that takes the walk, even though he'd like to drive somewhere after starting out 0-2. And then here comes Jim Hickey.
Trying to settle Shields down now, as he was upset with himself after that 4th walk. Surrendered to Thome. moving Markakis to third, Hardy to second, Thome to first, and only one down. What they'll look for, obviously, the ground ball here, and the Orioles have hit into a lot of ground ball double plays on the season. Adam Jones has been involved in 14 of those ground ball double plays.
Well, what the walk does, Gary, again, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but if you're sitting at home, you don't have to get a base hit to get a run on the board. You can hit a fly ball. The pressure is on James Shields. And, he got one heck of a hitter at the plate. He's got great lifetime numbers. And then going back, and let's invoke Josh Hamilton. I need to be more patient. What did Rick Dempsey say in the pregame? Patient aggression. So get a good pitch to hit and hit it hard somewhere. Get it in the air. You'll take the lead.
One down, bases loaded. Jones not patient.
Nope. Well, there you go.
Jones has had a 1 for 5 with the bases loaded this season. A single. Stands in here with the sacks full. He has struck out and walked.
So again, go back to that number. When he gets ahead, it's 189. When he gets behind, it's 389. And he swung at ball one.
Runners in scoring position. Hitters are 289 off Shields this year. High number. Slow roller, and would have been good enough, but it's going to go foul. And a 2-strike count. Infield way back. That ball stays fair. Nobody's going to have a play on it, but it didn't.
Well, a little curveball, and I think almost you're going to get lucky, because not only would that have scored a run, it would have been a base hit.
So Adam Jones, who has been one of the best 2-strike hitters in the American League all season, will have to do that here with an 0-2 count and 1 down. Big conversation taking place. Second baseman Zobrist, the veteran, came out with Molina to talk to Shields just to make sure in positioning. They move Pena even further over towards second base with that big shift on in the infield.
And that allows Jim Thome, who is 41, to get a bigger lead in case he can break up a double play ball.
0-2 delivery to the hole. That's a base hit. Markakis scores. They're going to bring Hardy. Here's Jennings' throw to the plate. It is not in time. A 2 RBI single with a 2-strike count. Adam Jones, and the Orioles lead it 2-0.
Well, take a look right here how Adam Jones is able to put the Orioles on the board. Fastball in, he swings at it, so he's behind. Curveball, pretty good one. And then right here, just a cut fastball in the middle of the plate. It speeds up the bat. It ends up being very hittable, and Adam doesn't miss it. And then Jennings does not make a good throw at all. Good throw. It probably would have been bang bang. So the Orioles 2 runs on the board.
Big hit for Adam Jones. He continues to get it done for the Orioles. 53 RBIs, and bunting is Wieters. Wieters with only 1 away, runners at first and second base. That's how much he's struggling. He tries to lay down a bunt on the first pitch and missed it. Wieters in the ballgame has struck out twice against Shields. He has a .260 batting average lifetime against Shields with a couple of home runs. But right now just in a funk with only 1 hit in his last 29 at-bats. And there's good. That's about knowing your job. DeMarlo Hale at third base. You do the homework as a third base coach every game. You go through the outfield arms. Who's playing? How are they throwing? He knew. He didn't hesitate. He knew Jennings didn't have an arm. Hardy can't run fast, but he waved him all the way, and he scored relatively easily. That ball down the line in right is curving, and it is foul.
Yeah, you play percentage baseball. We saw the Rays do it against Tollefson, as we mentioned earlier, on the Elliott Johnson line drive last night. So you force them to make the perfect throw. He's incapable of doing that, or at least didn't do it there. James Shields got to be he's got to be down, because he made a horrible 0-2 pitch to Adam Jones. I mean, ended up right in the middle of the plate, and to Adam's credit, he was able to smoke it into left field for a 2-run single.
Thome's on at second base. Jones on at first. Only 1 away. Wieters with the 0-2 count, and the Orioles a couple of runs on 4 hits in the ballgame. The hit batter, Hardy, has scored. The walk went to Thome. He's on at second base. Shields. Up to 83 pitches thrown. Here's the 0-2 to Wieters. And a little roller foul.
Yeah, he just will not throw fastballs. He's been up at the 93. He just does not pitch that way. And what's so amazing is, he's had some really good years. Last year his best ever. But that's contrary to the rest of the way the rest of the staff throws. They're fastball oriented. He's the one guy, and he is their veteran pitcher, that kind of pitches backwards from first pitch of the game all the way to here in the fifth.
Here's the 0-2 delivery again outside. And it goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Matt.
So you can see does not like the ball on the inside half of the plate. Much better away. Better high ball hitter. Of course, he is 6'5". He does have extremely long arms, so he can go out and cover that outside corner when he's hitting well. And right there, you can just see he was able to track that pitch. So out of the hand, he knew that was going to be a ball. And that's what you look for if you're James Shield. How are they taking some of the pitches? And how are they swinging at some I do throw over?
2-2 delivery on the way. Wieters takes that outside, and he's got it full. 3-2, 1 away. With all the strikeouts piling up, runners aren't going to go anywhere, I don't think, especially with Thome, the lead runner, at second base with no speed. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Thome and Jones off second and first. And he gets the walk to load him up again. 5 walks by Shields. It takes the glove off. Walks halfway in. And a bit distraught here is what he's done with the last 2 hitters.
Well, challenge somebody. Jim Hickey's got to go. Again, you go from being about as good as there is with 11 complete games through more fastballs last year. You're struggling, and you just do not trust the FB, the fastball. He's become a finesse pitcher.
That's the most walks he's surrendered this year and ties the most in his career. Back in 2008, he walked 5 against Oakland. He has walked 5 in this ball game, and the Orioles will try and take advantage of it. With Davis at the plate, Davis has flied out and grounded out.
And he does it against the team that walks the least in the American League. So you have to work at that. Usually the other way around.
Here's the 0-1 delivery. Davis puts it to the gap in left center field. Nobody's going to get that one all the way to the wall. Thome, Jones, Wieters, bases clearing double, and the Orioles add 3. 5-0 O's.
Well, 50-50. Fastballs and soft stuff. Orioles take advantage of it. They get the cut fastball, and here, watch this curveball. Right in the middle of the plate. Knee high, speeds up the bat. And then Chris Davis, who's got tremendous strength, able to cover the outside corner. And Matt Wieters on his horse, going to score all the way. You can see Jonesy, that's your 4th run. And here comes Matt cantering around 3rd to make it 5-0.
46 RBIs on the season. And Davis, a big hit. And still only 1 away, as Bedamit is the 8th Oriole to bat here in the 5th inning. 5 runs on 5 hits. The 2 walks and the hit batter all have scored in the inning. Bedamit on the foul ball and an 0-2 count. Now Davis is 14th 2-bagger of the year. Couldn't have come at a better time for the Orioles. Badenhop in the bullpen, we've seen in this series. Ball game yesterday worked an inning.
Yeah, came in to pitch the 9th.
Bedamit, and a swing and a miss, and tagged out by Molina.
Well, he actually balked.
Out number 8.
He balked. He never even hesitated. He was so anxious to throw a breaking ball to Wilson Bedamit. But he's got to be frustrated.
Tune into the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report later today, 5 to 7. Tom Davis, Mel Anton, and Phil Wood, Dave Johnson. They'll have continued post-game coverage of the series finale, and Amber Theoharis will be joining with a look at Chris Tillman and Zach Britton's return to the Orioles. 2 down, Mark Reynolds. Reynolds the other way. That's where Pena was playing in the shift. gets it to Shields. The Orioles bat around here in the 5th inning. They'll come away with 5 runs, and the O's take a 5-0 lead.
The Rays in the 1st inning, couple of walks, but Zobrist the double play ball. And then in the 2nd inning, and another walk. Great play by Reynolds. Hardy makes that throw even better, and then Reynolds on the back end, another double play, and then Roberts up at the plate, strike him out, throw him out as they get out of the 3rd inning. So 3 double plays, the base is loaded, 0-2 pitch. Jonesy with a 2-run single, and then Chris Davis will take a curveball up the gap with the bases loaded to score them all as the Orioles score 5 runs. Adam Jones again 2 RBIs. Chris Davis with a 3-run double as he's been struggling, and Chris Tillman working on a shutout.
Tillman has given up just the 2 hits to the Rays. The Molina double in the 5th inning and a single by Joyce in the 4th. After first 2 innings struggling to find strikes, he's come back here and now has some runs to work with. And he gets the strike in. Leadoff batter Desmond Jennings has walked and flied to left field. Jennings hitting at .238, and a check swing will go back upstairs for Souvenir and take the count to 0-2.
Well, the one thing about Chris Tillman is that when they traded for him from Seattle, they get George Sherrill and Adam Jones for Eric Bedard. You got a very young pitcher, about 21 years old, at 6'6", and so he throws downhill. Windup is improved. Got the big curveball, and he's got a good fastball going.
Quintanilla will take it at second base. 1 down. O's Extra Postgame Tune-In brought to you by PNC Bank. To the Achiever in you. We'll have Jim and Rick standing by to take a look back at this ball game, and Buck will listen in on his press conference, player interviews, and more coming up after our day game here at Camden Yards. B.J. Upton has drawn a walk and has flied out. Only 3 have been left on by the Rays in light of the big double plays, particularly in the first 2 innings, and another one in the 4th, helping to take those base runners off. Tillman looking for his first win in 6 career starts against Tampa Bay, and he had Upton fooled on that one.
Yeah, that's a backup slider. He knows it. The one thing about, and I know Buck Showalter talks about the time, he said, I kind of like the attitude of Chris Tillman. He can get his game face on. We saw that in Seattle. We saw it in Cleveland.
In the air, center field, hit hard. Jones going back near the wall. It'll take a hop and will go over. So it will be a ground rule double as Upton slashes one with 1 away in the 6th inning.
Yeah, not a very good 0-2 pitch. The difference between Tillman and Shields, Shields got Adam Jones 0-2 and threw a cutter right down the middle. Nobody on for this double.
So Zobrist try and get Tampa Bay on the board.
Well, this is when you really try to put the brakes on the opposition after you put runs on the board. You do not want to give them any idea that they can come back and win this game or tie it.
They are 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position in the ball game and 5 for 17 in the series. The pitch is outside for a ball to the ever patient switch hitting Zobrist. He hit into the big double play in the first inning and then led off the fourth inning and grounded out.
And again, as a starting pitcher, you have to understand the kind of hitter that Zobrist is. You have to throw strikes. He is not going to expand the strike zone early on. Only when you get to 2 strikes.
Tough hitter in this ballpark. Career .317 batting average here at Camden Yards, including 4 home runs for Zobrist. Tillman with Upton on at second base. Look back to him in the 2-0 delivery, and Zobrist will take that for a strike.
Wow. Changeup. Pretty good one. Well, it kind of sets up the count if you throw it for a strike because he wasn't looking for it.
This has been the year of the shifts and the changeup on any pitch.
Well, we saw it with Fernando Rodney. Couldn't get his fastball over at 96 to 99.
2-1 delivery on the way, and that's foul back. Tillman comes back on him to get the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, you really like to see it, and I know that he didn't think of it by himself. That was a Matt Wieters call. So you figure I don't have to make a perfect pitch with it. Zobrist is not looking for it. Now all of a sudden for the rest of the at bat, if he threw it 2-0, he'll throw it anytime. And that plants doubt in the mind of Ben Zobrist, and that's what you want.
Upton off second base. Tillman, the 2-2 delivery, and Zobrist goes down swinging.
Well, look at that, 95 up and away. I mean, that's the perfect windup. It's the only way you can throw a ball with that kind of finish. And he stays square enough, long enough to ride the ball with good movement and great velocity on the outside corner. And that's what we saw in Seattle in his debut this year.
Career high in strikeouts is 8. He did that against the Yankees back in 09. He's got 5 in this ball game. 2 down, runner at second base. Here's Joyce, and he will take the pitch for a strike. He has singled and struck out. 7-game hit streak for Joyce.
Yeah, Gary, I think with the heat and the amount of pitches that have been thrown, the strike zone might get a little bit bigger as this game progresses. And that pitch a little bit off the corner, but called a strike by Gary Darling.
85th pitch delivered by Tillman is down low. Completely different ball game than the first 2. The Rays had given up only 2 runs and 10 hits combined in the first 2 games. They've given up 5 runs on 5 hits in this one as the Orioles have that big inning. Tillman with a 1-1 and floats that one in, but it will miss. 2 ball 1 strike count. There's the breakdown so far.
Pretty much what you'd expect. Again, somewhere between 60 and 65% fastballs.
2-1 delivery, and misses with that one up and in. 3 ball 1 strike count on Joyce. Roberts waiting on deck.
And right now, because of the count, Wayne Kirby saying, well, maybe move over a step or 2. And a lot of outfielders will do that on their own.
And the 3-1's put up in the air to right. Markakis. He's got it. And that will do it here in the 6th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. The Orioles trying to avoid the sweep have the lead. brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Mid-90s day here at Camden Yards as these two teams wrap up the 3-game set, and the Orioles right now with the 5-0 lead. The A's come in. They're a very important series, 3-game set with Britton, Hunter, and Chen due to go against Parker. Bartolo Colon, whose name is in all the trade rumors, and Travis Blackley. Orioles bat at the bottom of the 6th.
That fan reminded me of you.
And why was that?
People fanning him.
Yes.
That's the way you operate.
My entourage that comes in and fans me. Yes.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Quintanilla with an 0-1 count. Omar Quintanilla has singled and flied out to left field. And a big cut. And an 0-2 count. Shields.
Yeah, probably throw some fastballs here in the 6th because he hasn't done it all afternoon. I imagine as a veteran pitcher, knowing that Tillman was pitching well, he's pretty frustrated the way that 5th inning went. He got the guy out, which happened to be Omar, who's now at the plate.
And got him again.
Yeah, well, there you go. You can't be looking for it because he hasn't hardly thrown it all afternoon. So 93 with good movement. And you don't get to it. Hitters kind of tell you what they're sitting on and how they react to your stuff. But it all started when he got Quintanilla out, and then Nick Markakis singled back up the middle.
Orioles have now struck out 32 times in this 3-game set so far, but they've got the 5-0 lead here. Taking first strike, Markakis with a single, 1 for 3. Nick now has a 6-game hit streak, and Markakis pushing the average up to 277, 71 hits on the year, and pulls that one. Is inside on him into the seats on a hop, and the count will go to 0-2 on Markakis.
Yeah, Nick's been able to. I mean, his first full year, 2006, he hit 291, 300, 306, lifetime batting average of 295. So he usually ends up somewhere in that neighborhood.
And that's away. While this series has already been won by Tampa Bay, the Orioles record now 17 wins, 14 losses, and 2 ties in series this year. Ground ball to the middle again. That's what Markakis is doing.
Well, another cutter. He just does not trust the best pitch in baseball, which is the fastball. And this is what Jonesy got to hit 0-2. You know, it just there. It speeds the bat up. And Nick says, I'm not trying to pull the ball. And again, it's just a ground ball up the middle, but you know nobody plays there, so if you're not going to field it, it's always going into center field.
So Nick's got a 2-for-4 ball game. Markakis, his 22nd multi-hit game of the year. And again, Hardy, who was hit by a pitch and scored in the 5th inning, comes up. He's 0-for-1 officially. He drew a walk. Markakis runs. Hit and run was on, and it is fouled upstairs. Buck Showalter putting him in motion there. Talking about the home run solo shots since 2010. Highest percentage of home runs that are soloed.
Yeah, that's for JJ Minnesota, then here last year, and his 14 this year. He said, I knew it was a large majority of solo home runs. I said, well, there's a lesson to be learned there. They pitch you a little bit different when runners are on because of respect, the way they respect you. And then you can see he's made adjustments, and the average climbing again.
Runner not going that time off the end of the bat. Johnson out. Jennings in. Elliott Johnson will put it away. And 2 down in the 6th inning. Hope you'll mark your calendars for Sunday, August 12. All kids 14 and under attending that day game against the Royals. Going to get a chance to run the bases after the game. Great summer afternoon at Oriole Park, and the kids always love that, to get on the field. Get your tickets in advance, 888-848-BIRD, Orioles.com. That's for Sunday, August 12. A lot of youngsters on hand here at the ball game for our day game today. Jim Thome up. Thome drew a walk and scored in the 5th inning. 1 for 2 officially at the plate, hitting .266. And held up on that. Check at third, and it's a strike. Scott Berry.
Well, let's take a look. That's what he's looking at. Yep, that one out there.
0-1 count. Fans with a book full of replies to the call.
Well,
none we can repeat. Here's the 0-1, and that will be taken inside. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Well, you talked about the walk in the 5-run fifth inning, and he got Jim Thome 0-2. I threw him 2 curveballs and then tried to finesse him, and Jim took the walk. And that led to the Jones 2-run singles on another 0-2 count.
Big cut. Not able to catch up with it.
I mean, James Shields is going to look, and he says, well, you know what, I'm not exactly getting hammered, but I didn't pitch well in 1 inning, and that's all it takes is when your opposing pitcher is shutting you out. 3 double plays early on by the Oriole defense. You can't afford to make mistakes. You can't afford to have a brain cramp and not make good pitches when you get ahead. Did a lot of things well, but just not great execution.
Off-speed pitch, miss outside. Jim is now 7th on the 2 lists we were talking about. He is 7th all-time in home runs, 611. He is also 7th in walks, 1,741 drawn in his career. 2-2 delivery to him, strike on the inside corner. And for Shields, he struck out his 10th. The Orioles no runs, 1 hit, leave a base runner on. The Orioles on top 5-0. As the A's come in for 3, and Zach Britton will be on the mound against Jared Parker. Our coverage on MASN HD 6:30 O's Extra presented by Jeep, followed by game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN. There are the A's. What a month. 16-2 in July. They are trailing Toronto this afternoon. Cespedes 302, 13 homers, 50 RBIs. Wow. The A's 1-2 against the Orioles. Reddick 5 for 12 against the O's, homer and 2 ribbies.
Yeah, that's the young outfielder they got from the Red Sox for Andrew Bailey, who tore the ligaments in his thumb. He's about ready to go out for rehab, apparently, for the Red Sox.
Tillman working on a 3-hit shutout. As we go to the 7th inning, Roberts has struck out and drawn a walk. And the pitch is outside. In his previous 3 starts, Tillman gave up a couple hits in Seattle, 5 in Minnesota, and 6 in Cleveland.
Well, it may not be a Picasso, but the scoreboard tells you it's about as good as anything else because there's no runs on the board.
One of those humps that Tillman needs to get over, because started to get talked about after the last ball game. He's never won back-to-back starts in the majors.
Well, but he's never thrown as well as he is either, at least in my estimation. I mean, Mike Griffin down to AAA and Rick Peterson, who's the minor league pitching coordinator. They made some changes, but he knows he has to throw strikes. Again, the pitch count at 92. It is warm. But just throw a ball down in the zone here. Make him put it in play, and he doesn't.
And that'll be walk number 4, surrendered by Tillman, and he's on here in the 7th. Take a look at our notebook here on how the winds are blowing in the East. How about this number? The Red Sox are 13-24 in games started by Lester and Beckett this season. Anybody else that starts, they are 36-26. Nick Swisher hoping to get back into the lineup for the Yankees on Friday. Girardi's got to clear him for that. And Ricky Romero, we were talking about this earlier, 8 earned runs, allow an inning and a third last night. The shortest start of his major league career came in the same game where they lost their hottest hitter, J.P. Arancibia, with a fractured right hand. Not a good evening for Toronto.
Yeah, very much like the A-Rod break of the hand. Yeah, not only did Beckett and Lester struggled this year, starting last September, they're 15-32. And of course, the Red Sox went 7-20 to just implode down the stretch. So Beckett, wild pitch last night, allowed Texas to win.
Red Sox are tied with Toronto, last in the division, 10.5 behind the Yankees. Big swing and a miss by Carlos Pena, 0 for 2. Hit into a double play and struck out. He's had 1 hit in 6 at-bats in the series, and against the Orioles this year, he's now hitting under 180 on the year against the O's.
Yeah, and you're just hoping, if you make your pitches, that Pena will not be able to pull a ball by Mark Reynolds, who is holding the runner on, even though you have a 5-0 lead, and that's what the walk does. Sets up that hole in the right field.
Tillman with the 0-2 delivery. Goes the other way. Davis backing up. Wind blowing, wind blowing, wind blowing, wind blowing, and it hits the warning track, and it's a double.
Well,
the wind had not been blowing all afternoon. It had picked up here in this inning enough so the flags are blowing out to left, and that ball got up in the wind and the heat and kept on going for a double.
So great defense early on, and right here, he's in trouble. Just did not get a good read. Very glary day, as you mentioned, Gary. And he plays an out into a double.
So Davis just unable to get back there. That ball almost hit him. Bounced just beyond him on the warning track, and now 2 in scoring position, and Adair will come out to talk to Tillman as there's nobody out in the inning.
Yeah, Darren O'Day, it looks like action. So this is kind of give the bullpen a chance to get loose. Darren coming in and pitching on Monday, or actually Tuesday night. There he is, getting 5-0 on the year.
Quick discussion. And Tillman.
And I'm sure what it was about is we need 9 outs. And just stay away from the big inning. Not always easy to do when you're pitch count in the middle 90s. And your defense gives him an extra out. So just get Fold out, who's coming to the plate. Not easy, because he'll bunt. He'll do something to get on base. And if they get a run, so what?
Roberts the lead runner. Pena with a double at second base. Fold has singled. Pop back to the pitcher. The delivery to him is going to be down low for a ball. Playing in his second game after being reinstated. Walk to Roberts. He's moved to third. Got there on Pena's double. Rays are 5 for 17 in the series with runners in scoring position. 0 for 3 today. Here's the 1-0 delivery. That ball's going to be a base hit into left field. Davis has got to get over into the gap. He was shallow. Roberts will score. Pena will score. A double and 2 RBIs for Fold, and it's a 5-2 ball game.
Well, not only is it 5-2, another runner in scoring position. Well, again, just a fastball down the middle. Sam Fold really knows. We've talked about it. He knows what he does and what he can't do. Just puts it in play, finds a hole, and they're back in the ball game.
So a 100-pitch day, and work the shutout into this 7th inning, and that will be it for Tillman. O'Day will be coming on, and Tillman has given the Orioles a chance to get the victory. He will leave. Orioles on top, 5-2.
starts for the first time in his career, so good defense early on. Strike him out, throw him out. Good changeups, used all his pitches. Got away with some high breaking balls, but threw the ball very well into the 7th inning when he was betrayed by his defense. Also a couple of hits by the Rays. So there it is, 100 pitches. Pretty good strike the ball ratio, and he'll leave with the Orioles with a 3-run lead, but Darren O'Day will come in with an inherited runner out at second with nobody out. Did come in on Tuesday night, inning with a strikeout and a walk. So there are the numbers. It's been a little bit of a struggle. 7 earned runs in his last 9 games. So again, it's about, can I really just stay in my windup and get good movement? He's not a sinker baller, even though he threw the submariner. He throws more balls in the air.
5th game against Tampa Bay this year. He's given up nothing in 3 2/3 innings with a walk and 4 strikeouts. 2 are in here. Runner at second base, and Molina will take that sweeping pitch for a strike. Molina doubled. He has popped out. He's gone 1 for 2 lifetime off O'Day, and that was a home run.
Well, it's a big at bat in the sense that if with nobody out, he's able to move Fold over to third. And with a 5-2 lead, you're probably going to play back, and it'll make it easier for Elliott Johnson, who's waiting on deck, to drive in a run.
0-1 delivery to Molina. That'll be fouled off the other way. Molina hitting only 167 with runners in scoring position this year, and O'Day trying to keep it that way. Yes, Orioles very effective O'Day, as Jim said, until the last few ball games. And there's the runner, Fold, who picked up the 2 RBIs with his 2-bagger. Fold a new addition, Roberts a new addition. Both have really added in this series to Tampa Bay's offense. Here's the 0-2 pitch to him. Molina chases outside.
Yeah, but it's a big strikeout. Again, 0-2. You can get him to chase. Veteran guy. He's trying to catch up. Very deceptive windup from Darren O'Day. So huge out.
Let's take a look at our Hollywood Casino League leaderboard. The American League relief ERA. The A's on top. Rangers, Boston, and then the Orioles 3.08. And the Mariners round out the top 5. Slots, tables, dining. The ultimate triple play at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. 1 down. Elliott Johnson to first and foul. Johnson has struck out and popped out. 1 away. And the runner at second base. As the Rays get on the board here in the 7th inning, that leadoff walk surrendered to Roberts, started it, and he has already crossed the plate. Elliott Johnson has faced O'Day only once, 0 for 1. Short lead at second. Had him actually taking a couple of steps the other way, but Hardy wasn't there.
Yeah, and very good speed too. So and very difficult for Sam Fold to get a real big lead because JJ is playing right behind him, at least initially, and then he'll move a couple of steps into his positioning.
Be a foul ball and a second strike on Johnson.
Yeah, as good as Elliott is, it came in at 351 with runners in scoring position. So the inability for Molina to move Fold to third means he has to get a base hit, and that's not always easy.
O'Day with a 2-strike count. Outfield shaded a bit towards right. They give him the left center field gap. That high set and the 0-2 delivery got it in there. Fouled right back into the screen. These two teams tied for second, so an Orioles win would separate them by a game going into the Oakland series tomorrow night. Yankees have the day off today. Toronto's beating Oakland in Toronto. The A's will be headed to Baltimore after that ball game. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Up and in, 1-2.
A little extra. You very rarely ever see Darren O'Day reach more than 85, 86. It's really not about velocity. Now, you don't want to play the A's at home. Of their last 16 wins in Oakland, 8 walk-offs.
They've done it in every way conceivable. Homers, walks, singles. And that one towards the hole. Quintanilla over, bobbles, and will not get the out. Runners at first and third with only one away.
Yeah, again, the lip makes it a little bit harder because you're playing deep. And the speed of Elliott Johnson, left-handed hitter, coming out of the box a little bit closer. But right there, the ball comes off the lip and it stays down, so he doesn't field it cleanly. And meanwhile, so now all of a sudden, he came into this inning with a 5-0 lead, and you have the tying run at the plate.
So now runners at first and third. The error charge to Quintanilla. And only one away. Top of the order is Jennings. A 5-2 ball game. Jennings showed bunt and will take the pitch outside for a ball.
So 2 extra outs here. The fly ball by Pena that Chris Davis did not get a good lead on or jump on. Well, you already have 3 double plays. That's what the Orioles would love to have. Maybe Jennings bounce one at one of their infielders.
1-0 count. And fouled off. Pitch on the outside part of the plate, and the count will go to 1-1.
With this inning, certainly has given the Rays hope.
And you got the potential tying run at the plate. That's what you're after. And Jennings 0 for 1 against O'Day. Lead runner Fold, who had the double. Johnson reaching on the error at first base. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Oh, there you go. Tillman was working on that the other day down in the bullpen. I always thought that was kind of a desperation thing, but
you have to work on that.
Well, yeah. I mean, well, apparently now it's part of everybody's starting pitchers or relievers defense. The old fake the third, go to first.
And he meant it. He actually tries to bunt here, and he missed it. And a 1 ball, 2 strike count. So
and again, I say that jokingly in the sense because they have speed. They have 16 stolen bases over at first base. So again, if you get an aggressive runner, you're hoping that maybe I will be able to get an out. And that's what the Orioles are looking for without having to pitch to home plate.
Jennings, who's drawn a walk, flied out, grounded out. Won't be bunting here. A 1 ball, 2 strike count, 1 away. Runner at first not going, and the ball is popped up to first. Reynolds.
Infield fly rule.
No, they didn't call it.
Why not?
And they got it. So Jennings pops out, and there are 2 down. That's a big out.
I guess you don't call it if there's not a force play. Well, there is a force play, but I mean the runner at third.
I suspect because of the conditions of the sky and the trouble the defense has had, they weren't sure that was going to be automatic. And 2 down. We've had that high sky, sun, real glare, and the wind has picked up a little bit towards left field as we've gone along. Orioles shift, playing him to pull. Upton with a double his last time up, 1 for 2 and a walk in the ball game. Runners on at first and third. 2 down. And that is in there for a strike. Johnson has made no attempt to go over there at first base. And Upton, big chance here with 2 down.
Yeah, 0 for 9. 0 for 9 lifetime against Darren O'Day. And of course that's a canceled check. That's history. You're hoping that it's.
Runner goes, swung on it in the air to left. Davis there, and he's got it. Couple of runs in, a 5-2 ball game. 7th inning stretch time brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Fly straight, drink responsibly. Orioles have the 5-2 lead in the ball game, and a couple of very big outs recorded by O'Day as the Orioles bullpen helping Tillman out, in a performance by Chris Tillman that worthy of note.
Well, it really is. I mean, he threw the ball well. He struggled early as a young pitcher. Again, only 24. What he's able to do is get better. Meanwhile, again, if you put 5 shutouts, you put pressure on James Shields, who's been struggling as of late, at least numerically. Came in at 8-6, and all of a sudden you get a 5-run inning, and you give him a cushion. But again, the extra outs makes this game close, and now it's pretty much, if the Orioles are going to win, they're going to have to do what they've done all year long, Gary, which is count on their bullpen, at least the back end of it.
What they've done is knock Shields out of the ball game, so the Orioles now will try and do their offensive work against this bullpen of Tampa Bay, which has been very effective here, especially in July.
Yeah, they're 9th, total ERA, but again, it's only about 20 hundredths of a run, so they've pitched very well. You got a sinker baller coming in. We saw him last night. Throws a lot of ground balls when he's on his game.
So Badenhop will be on as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Orioles will have the middle of the order, Jones, Wieters, and Davis on to take him. So Shields out of the ball game, could suffer his 7th loss, working the 6 innings, giving up the 5 runs on 6 hits, as the Orioles got to him with a big 5-run, 3-hit 5th inning in which he walked 2 and hit a batter. And all of the runs for the Orioles coming in that 5th inning.
So again, what their bullpen will do, and you made a very astute observation. Their bullpen has really settled down. Whether it's Badenhop or Peralta, they struggled early every year. As we talked about the first 2 games, they do add guys. Their closer, 28 out of 29, Fernando Rodney, struggled with the Angels. Badenhop comes out of the Marlin organization.
Adam Jones, the big hit of the ball game for the Orioles in the 5th inning, a single, picking up 2 RBIs. The bases loaded, and he will foul that one away. Adam closing in with a .293 average on maybe a 300 year, 53 RBIs. Jones against Badenhop has gone 3 for 4. Hit me in the red zone, and I'll hit you back. Here's the 1-1 delivery, and that will go down the line in right field, hit deep into the corner, and hauled in. Sam Fuld going back to get it, and Jones retired, 1 away.
And again, glary day. There are no such things as routine fly balls. Fuld made it look pretty routine, though, didn't he?
Matt Wieters coming up. Matt picked up the walk in the 5th inning and would score. He has struck out twice.
Yeah, you look at a guy like Sam Fuld, and we've seen him now as he came off the DL. That's what the Orioles hope that Xavier Avery will become, except that Sam's got about 8 years on him, age-wise, and much more experience. But a speedster with impact ability to help you defensively and offensively.
Fouls that one off the other way. Wieters a 1 for 4 off Badenhop.
Well, that is when Matt Wieters starts hitting. He's going to start using the whole field, especially left-handed. When he starts hitting the ball to left field, stays on balls, able to get the front foot down, time them better.
Wieters with Davis waiting on deck. Will chop that towards second base. Big hop for Zobrist. And Wieters is retired. An 0 for 3 in the game and an 0 for 11 in the series. Celebrate the second half of the season with a group outing to Oriole Park. Gather up family, friends, co-workers. Enjoy a night or day of baseball and fun here at Camden Yards. Discounted ticket prices for groups as small as 15. Party facilities for up to 1,000. 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com/groups. UV protectors. 2 down. Here's Chris Davis. Davis, a big double. He's got 2 RBIs. Jones 2 RBIs. 1-0 count on him. 2 down, nobody on here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Well, how long have the Orioles been talking about getting the big hit? That's exactly what they did in the 5th.
Towering shot. That is deep to center. And goodbye. Home run. Chris Davis delivers the long ball, and the Orioles have a 6-2 lead.
Well, there you go. 4 RBIs on the afternoon. Everybody in that dugout's happy to see that. Big afternoon.
47 RBIs on the season, his 16th home run of the year. Badenhop surrenders.
You take a look, and I mean, again, a sinker baller. It looks like it's a changeup, and it's just launched. B.J. Upton took a couple of steps and then just turned around, the center fielder for the Rays, and watched it, gazed at about, 15 rows up there.
Second 4 RBI ball game for Davis this year. He had one against Oakland back in April. The Orioles now with 6 runs on 7 hits in the ball game. A towering fly ball to right. Betemit put it up there. Fold moves under it and has it. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Davis uses the long ball, his 16th of the year. And no question about this one. Orioles lead at 6-2. You have won $1,100 from the Maryland Lottery. For your chance to be the Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, play Strike It Rich scratch-offs. Enter your non-winning ticket codes at mdlottery.com/strikeitRich. And could add to it, especially with Pedro Strop on the mound.
Yeah, well, exactly. Even though he's a ground ball pitcher, he can strike you out. There you go, 6-2. Strop comes in, inning last night. Again, good numbers, low ERA when Jim Johnson had the flu early on. He did save some games. The only number, and of course he's going to face one of the more disciplined hitters in the American League. You can see only lefties do it, and only 1 home run. That was against a right-hander.
Zobrist 0 for 3, and the pitch is a strike. Buck Showalter with a defensive change as Endy Chavez will come in for Davis to play in left field. Straight up change.
That's right. Enough of you, Chris. You drive in 4. We're going to
get out of here.
Throw some leather. Thank you very much.
And a swing and a miss. Zobrist fooled on that one.
Well, that's the amazing thing. Sometimes Pedro Strop will get in trouble by speeding up bats, but when you throw 96 to 98, the slider, when you get it down in the strike zone, stay on top of it, it's going to be a real effective pitch.
0-2 count on Zobrist. Strop's delivery to him, and will be taken inside for a ball. 1-2.
Yeah, that's where you want to throw it. If you're a right-hander and you're throwing to a lefty and you get 0-2, try to hit his back foot. That way you stay on top of it and stay through it.
Zobrist against Strop, 1 for 3. Good job by O'Day, who came on for Tillman. Worked an inning, got a strikeout. Chris Tillman, the 2 runs, 5 hits over 6. And that one just fouled off.
And then a split-fingered fastball. So 4 breaking balls. Hasn't even seen 98 yet.
Orioles have committed 2 errors in the ball game. That Molina 5th inning looked like double, ended up being called an error on Betemit. And then there was the error charged in the last inning at second base on Quintanilla.
Oh, really? They gave him an error, huh?
Yeah, I think they changed that.
Yeah, I just thought he should have knocked it down.
And got him. Zobrist reaching.
Yeah, waving. So again, splitters, sliders, and then 97. And watch the movement. Watch the late movement. Ball just runs away from the strike zone. So even a guy that has the second most walks is going to chase when you get to 2 strikes. Can't quite catch up to it.
1 away. Here's Joyce. A single. Has struck out, flied out. Has extended his hit streak to 7 games. Hitting at .279. 1 down, nobody on, 8th inning. And the fastball is there for a strike. Orioles trying to put this away, avoid the sweep, set themselves up for the series against Oakland that will start tomorrow night. Game 1 of 3. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Throttle back a little bit on the top of it. 0-2.
Well, you go back and you look. Yeah, they've been struggling offensively, but the bullpen's had a chance to recharge itself because, again, the starting pitching, with the exception of last night, has been splendid. Now through the last 8-9 games, only one time have they not gotten a starter into the 6th, 7th inning.
Fouled away. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T player of the game. Chris Davis with the bases loaded 2-bagger. Adam Jones 2 RBI single in that same inning. Chris Tillman with a solid 6+. You can text in your vote to A, B, or C. 31826. The 0-2 will miss down low. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Matt Joyce. Win here, and the Orioles will be only 1 game behind in the season series. These 2 teams have played as close as you can get all time. The series, Tampa Bay leads at 125 to 123. Outside corner strike.
99. Wow. Movement, velocity, location. Doesn't get any better than that pitch.
And there are 2 down and 2 strikeouts. And here's Roberts, who has walked a couple of times, scored a run, and he has struck out.
Boy, what a pickup for the Orioles last year in the late season. Pedro Strop out of the Rangers organization.
And that is in there for a strike. Strop has 35 strikeouts on the season in 45 innings. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and the breaking ball will miss outside.
Well, Gary, when you get that sink and that velocity, it's hard to elevate the ball. Really, only when he throws a slider up in the zone does the ball get in the air.
That is in there for a strike. So 1 ball, 2 strike count with 2 down.
Yeah, all the teams that I talk to that have to face the Orioles, they just marvel that Rangers would give up an arm like this. The Orioles are lucky to have Pedro.
Brian Roberts, a 1-2 delivery to him. Back into the screen. Out of the Orioles bullpen, the leader in strikeouts is Troy Patton. He's got 39. O'Day has tied him today with 39. Ball foul back again. A lot of innings pitched. Ayala with 31 strikeouts. 1 and 2 on Roberts.
Yeah, your 2 guys that close the games, Pedro Strop and Jim Johnson, are more ground ball pitchers. I mean, they can't strike people out. They just make you put the ball on the ground and play.
Play here for Betemit. Guns it over, and Strop comes on with a 1-2-3 inning. So the Orioles set him down. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The O's on top, 6-2. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield is contributing $50 to support the American Heart Association Heart Walk. 283 walks, $14,150. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Orioles will bat here against Badenhop, who came on and gave up the home run to Davis in the 7th inning. Reynolds, Quintanilla, and then Markakis will be due up. For the Orioles, 6-7-2. The Rays, 2-5-0. Orioles have left 7, 6 left on by the Rays. And Mark Reynolds has a walk. He has struck out and grounded out. 1 hit, 9 at bats in this series. Now hitting at .205, 8 homers and 31 RBIs.
Well, you come in 4 games over 500s. Obviously, you would like to be higher than that, but without Mark contributed like he wants to. So just never know in this game. As long as they keep sending him up there. If we look at Robert Andino, who again injured his left shoulder, came in and out of the socket, but apparently no damage to the labrum, so he'll be back very shortly.
Paul Emmel with a call strike on the check swing and an 0-1 count on Reynolds.
Yeah, make it 0-2. That was anything close.
21,301 for our day game. 21,301 on this very summery afternoon. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Badenhop with a strikeout. 11 Orioles have struck out today.
Yeah, came into the game with more strikeouts than hits. About 5 other teams in the major leagues doing that. The big swooper. Right off the outside corner. Perfectly thrown.
1 down. Quintanilla coming up a single. He has flied out and struck out. Victory today would put the Orioles back at 500 here at home, 24-24, and would put the Rays at 500 on the road, 23-23, if this lead holds up for the Orioles. 1 strike count. Omar Quintanilla to be followed by Markakis. Here's the 0-1. Quintanilla's got to have, well, probably no black and blues on that left shoulder anymore, but in batting practice and during the game, he bounces the bat off his shoulder. Aren't many who do that. His body's quiet otherwise, but once he gets it up there, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times putting that bat off the shoulder, and I'm sure that spot probably got a lot of dead skin on it right now. 1-2.
Well, he's a veteran, 30. Maybe he pads it.
Doesn't hit it hard, but
no.
When you're doing that repetitively.
Well, again, that's where he wants to start his swing, and again, it's really a triggering device. Watch him. There, his hands get back. And
to third base, that will be handled by Roberts. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. Two down, nobody on. Nick Markakis. 6-game hit streak extended in the ball game. He's had a 2 for 4, 2 singles and a run scored, 4 hits in 11 at bats in this series against the Rays, and on the season, Nick hitting over .350 against Tampa Bay with 1 home run. Johnson, with a need to get some work in, is ready in the bullpen.
Yeah, need to get back on track because it's been a little bit of a struggle, even though he's been saving games. But again, that's the bottom line. But for Jim, who gave up so few runs, anytime he gives up a run, it's like we got a scoop here. So they want to get him just back comfortable.
Center field, Upton going back, and will make the catch. So Badenhop retires the side in order. The Orioles leading in the ball game. Johnson will come on. Chance to win it, 3 outs away. Baseball en masse is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Dodge. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out their powerful lineup. Jim Johnson on to try and finish it off.
Well, there you go. 25 straight going into last year early on. All-star team for the first time. Got his 30th save on Sunday in Cleveland. So there you go. Doesn't give up a whole lot of hits. Doesn't give up a lot of walks. So again, just really not a safe situation with the 4-run lead. Just trying to get back on track. Kind of like what Buck Showalter was able to do with the bullpen last night when the Rays raced off to that 10-1 lead.
It'll be Carlos Pena leading it off. Pena's had a double, a run scored, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Fold, and then Molina will be due up against Jim Johnson. The Orioles shift that infield over, leading it by a score of 6-2, and trying to put away win number 52 on the year. And Johnson's pitch to him is going to go in the gap for a base hit. Pena's on with a leadoff single here in the 9th inning. Let's update you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. The results so far. Text in your vote A, B, or C 31826, and results on the O's Extra post-game show. Fold coming up. Toronto has beaten Oakland by a score of 10-4 today. So Oakland will make their way to Baltimore to start that series tomorrow night. Toronto and Boston now both have 49 wins on the year. Tied at the bottom, if you will, in the division. Sam Fold, double, single, 2 RBIs, and he has popped out. And the pitch outside for a ball. Runner on at first base, nobody out.
And you know, Fold very capable offensively of bunting. Wilson Betemeet about 1 step from the graph at third, but a lot of times you'll just bunt it by the pitcher and hope you can beat him to first base.
1-1 delivery. We invite you to follow the Orioles with MLB At Bat 12 app. iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, Windows Mobile. Live audio pitch tracking video highlights. Text At Bat 31826.
Chris Davis with 4 RBIs looking on.
And that will be taken down low. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
So again, the Jim Johnson, who certainly has 3 above average pitches. Change up, which he just threw. Big curveball. We'll see if he uses them. Sinker maybe not sinking quite as much. And right there, overthrows it down and in. So they are looking for base runners. That's what the Rays need. And the Orioles is hunting for 3 more outs.
Fold has an 0 for 3 against Johnson. Lobaton's come out in the on-deck circle to be the pinch hitter for Molina. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Pena at first base. Runner going nowhere. Fold fouls it off. So Tampa Bay not going away quietly already here in the 9th inning. The Orioles looking to turn one of those double plays that started the game when they helped Tillman get out of potential jams in the 1st and 2nd. The ground ball double plays. 3-2, not this time. It'll go to right. It's going to fall in for a base hit. Markakis up with it, folds on, and the Rays have 2 on and nobody out.
Yeah, you know, sometimes again the scoreboard will dictate how you pitch. So Jim Johnson, once he goes 3-2, knows he has to throw a strike, and again his strength is down in the zone, not up. And both of the pitches to Pena and to Fold have been up. So he's got to figure somehow, and he's been very good at that. How do I get the ball down? And he will tell you when my head goes down, the ball goes up, and when I stay a little bit taller, the ball goes down. So not always easy to do on the fly.
Lobaton got his first career home run in the ball game yesterday. Single game highs for him, 3 hits, 4 RBIs. He has 2 on here with nobody out and fouls that one off.
Yeah, he had that home run after a couple of walks from Matt Lindstrom. Mercader went out, first pitch, 3-run shot, made it 10-1.
Lobitone's had a good series, 3 for 6. The home run and 4 RBIs. 2 on here, nobody out. Lobitone off the handle foul, and Johnson gets ahead of him.
Been kind of a series of extremes. In the first game, the game they won 3-1, he struck out all 3 times, hitting right-handed. And then last night, first 3 times up, 3 base hits, one of them a home run, and then eventually would walk.
Bullpen for the Orioles today with O'Day and Strop have done a good job. Couple of innings of work. They haven't given up anything. Now Jim Johnson trying to stay right in those same columns. 2-strike count. Lobitone stands back in. Pena off second base. Fold off first. And a timeout taken at the plate. Lobitone having to hold the stance a little too long. And obviously they can't get together on what they want to throw here.
Yeah, it might not be. I mean, usually you don't really see this. Again, Jim has 3 choices. He may be thinking strikeout. Maybe Matt Wieters is thinking, okay, we've already got 3 double plays this afternoon. Let's throw another sinker. But maybe Jim doesn't trust that pitch. So hopefully, if you're an Oriole fan, you're on the right page.
Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way. Lobitone ground ball to short. Hardy 1 relay. Quintanilla, they turn the double play. Pena moves to third, but there are 2 down.
Well, whatever they discussed, it certainly works. Jim Johnson makes a great pitch, and then the defense. You can see him have to chase that sinker down and away perfectly. 6-4 to 3.
So the Orioles 1 out away. Jeff Keppinger will come on to be the pinch hitter for Elliott Johnson, with a runner at third base and 2 down. Pena at third, and the pitch is taken for a ball away. So the Orioles close to avoiding that sweep in this series. Keppinger's gone 2 for 8. 1 RBI and a run scored. Ground ball toward short. That'll be played by Hardy, and the Orioles win it. No runs on a couple of hits with a base runner left on, as Keppinger concludes the ball game, and the Orioles pick up a 6-2 win. Tillman gets the win. He is 3-1. Shields will take the loss. He is 8-7, and the O's do not get swept in this 3-game set.